Brad. It says it's having trouble streaming to my destination. It won't stream to it. Huh. I'm going to edit it. It's Abby's studio. Oh, no, I can't edit it.
We're on a mission, and we're going to fight hard each and every day, no matter what hit pieces come our way, no matter who tries to take us down. We're going to fight.
The story of America is the story of an adventure that began with deep faith, big dreams, and humble beginnings.
At certain times when it seemed that there was just no hope, those are the times that turned out to be the best.
Never, ever give up. America is beginning a new chapter.
You're muted.
Welcome to MAGA versus the World, episode 3. We've been scrambling to. We thought we had a full show last night. Then we wake up this morning and we're like, oh, okay, we got some things to add here. This is going to be a good day. And then right as we're getting ready, we have a Comey indictment that has been added to the mix. So it's going to be a fun night, I'd say.
Yeah, 100%. Sorry, I'm just grabbing all my stuff. Oh my gosh. I woke up and then hearing this news. I know he was indicted before. He was visited by the Secret Service. This was last year for his message in the sand. But now coming to this point and just seeing like Todd, Blanche, and Kash Patel come out, I'm like, this is the dream. This is what I've been waiting for my whole 8 years. 8 years in waiting, so it's exciting.
This is a big one. We knew after what happened in the fall, a lot of us had said that, well, this ain't the end of that, as if we know what they're doing. So it's interesting, too, because when he gave the time frame on how long they've been working for this, they've been working on this since before those indictments in the fall. So you almost wonder if they were throwing some of the light ones out. I know they do stuff like that. Also, too, this flood here makes me wonder a little, too, if Pam Bondi's entire edicts upon getting hired was to be the lightning rod while they kept their powder dry. She might have potentially, they could never admit this, she might have known right from the get-go, hey, this is going to suck, but you're going to have to go up and be like, I don't know, for a lot, because things are happening, man.
Yeah, like what you said, that she could have been the lightning rod while the RICO investigations are going on behind the scenes, which Kash revealed that they had been. He did in that press conference.
Yes, he did.
So we were correct. And yes, so maybe she was there taking everybody throwing everything at her. Why are you doing nothing? You guys are stonewalling everything. Meanwhile, they needed that so they can continue their investigation in peace. And of course, you gotta, when you're doing something like that, you don't want the whole world to know. They do it all the time. The press is like, sir, tell us what you're doing. Trump over in Iran, or guys, tell us what you're doing. It's like, bro, I ain't gonna tell you shit until it's done. Like, calm down. But
they're always trying to get that out of them. Trump was very clear when he ran the first time, and this was when he was talking about taking care of the Middle East. he said Obama would announce where they're going. We're going to be here tomorrow. He'd announce the time, and they'd either be out of there or they'd be waiting, because it's a sham. I'm not going to tell anyone anything, and they have done quite a great job. And good Lord, has it been a week? I don't even know where to start. I guess Comey, right? We should just start right off the bat with Comey, because this is absolutely incredible.
All right.
In my personal opinion.
Hold on. Where's that bumper? Oh, I can't find it. It's MAGA Weekly.
Okay, I was like, man, did you pick a Comey bumper? That's incredible.
All right. So, as you guys know, today, a federal grand jury indictment was put out for former FBI Director James Comey for threats to harm President Donald Trump. Now, we'll see. I'm sharing the wrong one here, guys. Well, why is it showing that?
That was mine.
Oh, it was yours. It's like, I'm sharing the wrong one. Okay. Again, I'm sharing the wrong one. Where is the video that I'm looking for here?
Are you going to play the cash video? Yeah. So
yeah, but there's one of Todd
good.
Blanche speaking as well, and I thought I had it in here. So we're going to play cash. I'll find Todd Blanche real quick.
As you heard from the Attorney General and the U.S. Attorney, former FBI Director James Comey has now been indicted for 2 felony counts. While many of you may read this indictment and view this matter as a simple investigation, it is the farthest thing from that. Every single investigation this FBI and our partners at the Department of Justice undertake, especially those that involve the threat to harm or hurt or even kill individuals, whether they hold public office or civilians in our country, are met with the same measure of investigative prowess and tools and personnel in partnership with the Department of Justice as anyone else. As the U.S. Attorney indicated, James Comey will be afforded every matter of due process under the United States Constitution. And as the Attorney General indicated, this has been a case that's been investigated over the past 9, 10, 11 months.
There it is.
These cases take time. Our investigators work methodically. They are career agents, career prosecutors who work these matters. They call the balls and strikes in the field as they see fit, pursuant to the facts of the case and the law. They took that information and made a presentment to a grand jury, a jury of peers in the district in which the alleged crime took place. And that grand jury spoke, and that grand jury returned a 2-count indictment against James Comey. James Comey allegedly threatened the life of the President of the United States. And as you all now know, shortly after posting that threat, he deleted that threat and then issued all of that information was presented to the grand jury. And Mr. Comey will have his day in court and his ability to speak to a jury of his peers. Thank you.
Rock and roll. So there was that. And then I did find it. I'll just play these back to back.
Yes, good.
Today, a grand jury sitting in the Eastern District of North Carolina returned an indictment against James Comey on 2 counts. The first count is that on or about May 15th of last year, he knowingly and willfully making a threat to take the life of and to inflict bodily harm upon the President of the United States. Count 2, same day, May 15th, 2025, that the defendant, James Comey, knowingly and willfully transmitting in interstate commerce a communication that contained a threat to kill the President of the United States. Both of these counts carry a maximum term of imprisonment of 10 years. So I think it's fair to say that threatening the life of anybody is dangerous and potentially a crime. Threatening the life of the President of the United States will never be tolerated by the Department of Justice. Over the past year, this department has charged dozens of cases involving threats against all sorts of individuals. We take these seriously, every single one of them.
I love how Todd Blanche is. Yeah. He's always like, it's serious. You know, he's always serious when he comes out with these reports. But dang,
serious stuff.
This is big stuff. And I see everybody in chat, Nancy Lucky, it's happening. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, the 2026 has been insane. It just hasn't stopped since January. It's been nonstop. I can't even believe it's not even 5 months in yet.
Yep, it's good. All right, I did have a few more. I don't know if you want me to play the rest of the ones that I had pulled up. This one is of
let's soak it in a bit. All right. I've been waiting a long time for this.
all right. So this is Comey. This is from the past, is when he
This is him.
responded.
Yeah, and he has no remorse, by the way.
Yeah, no remorse.
Well, they're back. This time about a picture of seashells on a North Carolina beach a year ago. And this won't be the end of it. But nothing has changed with me. I'm still innocent. I'm still not afraid. And I still believe in the independent federal judiciary. So let's go. But it's really important that all of us remember this is not who we are as a country. This is not how the Department of Justice is supposed to be. And the good news is we get closer every day to restoring those values. Keep the faith.
Oh, God. Keep the faith.
What a crock of crap. Yeah, this guy, that was 8647. We all know 86 means to off somebody. Got to 86 it, 86 something. So, and that started a trend. They were making shirts. It's funny. We've been watching so many nasty videos these last couple of days of just left-wing nutcases preaching death and hatred and vitriol. You know, whenever something like this happens, everyone likes to pull out the classics. And then there's also a fresh new wave of a million new ones because they just live for violence. And one of them I was watching, some guy was walking by with an 8647 shirt. They were monetizing it. They love it.
Yeah, I seen that. I think I seen that one. And he's like an elderly guy. You know, he'd be like your dad or your grandpa. And he's like, yeah, he's a dictator. I'm like, well, why? What did he do? Do you even know what he's doing? Are you even paying attention? Are you listening to the fake news? And that's the thing, is they really are listening to the fake news. And as I covered that yesterday on my show, it's like they're all, I'm sorry, in it together, the mainstream media at least, because they'll take those same talking points and then those little clips and they'll recycle it so everybody feels the same way. And as I played on the show, they're getting exposed now. People are calling them out. You got Pete Hegseth calling them out. You got Trump obviously always calling them out. You had Todd Blanche calling them out. Tulsi Gabbard calling out the fake news. It's getting spicy now. It's getting really good.
Yeah, and I like how he's going after him specifically for that. That's a death threat. That's a death threat to the president of the United States. And well, again, we've been watching all these videos. I watched every one of them where they say they're either excited that someone tried to shoot the president or they're literally just calling for it blindly. And I gotta say, man, I'd be rounding every one of them up. That's a charge. Charge them with death threats to the president. That is a huge freaking deal. Go for it. They're bad people in the first place. Like, I gotta say, I really, really did not like President Obama. Most of my friends, we all just thought he was an absolute plant. We thought he was disturbingly bad. And I don't recall any of us ever wishing him to be murdered. Okay. So that's just way, way, way over the line, but they have been pushed here over the line. So one positive that all these videos do is they highlight an important piece of history. President Trump is the most free speech president of our country's existence, possibly of any leader of all time. Now, I was reading a figure the other day that there have been roughly 75,000 anti-Trump protests that have occurred while in office. So that's while in office. So omitting the lead up to 2016, omitting all the Biden years, there's only the 5.5 years that he has held the highest office in the land, where he is certainly not shy about using our military or justice system or anything that he needs to use for the right reasons. 75,000 rallies dedicated to spreading hate about him. You want to know how many he shut down? 0. 0% of them. No one has been more pro free speech in the history of the world than Donald John Trump. And you know how many protests there were against Adolf Hitler? Not many, because the ones they did have were violently shut down, all documented, leading in many cases to mass arrests and even executions. Right? Can you imagine if half the population of Germany put on 75,000 protests in Hitler's first 5 years? It would be a bloodbath. It would be so tragic. And again, they wouldn't get past the first however many. This is why they didn't get that far, because they were immediately brutalized the second they did it. So again, there's 100 ways to Sunday why this comparison is a joke, but calling President Trump modern day Adolf Hitler is a complete joke, but it's not funny anymore, because now you have things like this shooter. And I thought Greg Gutfeld said it best the other night. This guy isn't deranged. This is just a normal left-wing voter. This is what the left-wing leadership have been pretty much begging their constituents to do. This is what left-wing podcasters talk about. This is what random left-wingers online talk about. This is what they are. This is normal. When you read his manifesto, he's just reciting fake news talking points. This is not some deranged guy. It's a teacher. This is what they want. They have fomented this and curated it very much over time. And that's why I love that specifically this is what they are indicting Comey over, a death threat.
Yes. And Caroline Leavitt said the same thing too, where she goes, if you read his manifesto, it almost just looks like anything any other liberal Democrat would say. And that's scary. That's actually a scary revelation to think that. So if that is what was going through his mind, and he thought to himself, well, I'm doing the right thing. Anyone else in my spot it'd be wrong to not take this shot because he's a dictator. And right? I mean, he's literally reacting the way he was programmed to react. And, and not to put fear in people, but if you got one of them like that, you guarantee there's a lot more that are like that. So, yeah. Did I have this clip of Caroline Leavitt, where she does say that? I don't know if you wanted me to play it. I have it in the StreamYard here. So
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I don't think I heard this yet.
Yeah, I combined her whole press conference was about 30 minutes. And so what I did is I cut out the parts where she's calling out the fake news. And it's pretty friggin' fire.
For example, as the First Lady of the United States pointed out this morning, just 2 days prior to the shooting, ABC's late night host Jimmy Kimmel disgustingly called First Lady Melania Trump an expectant widow. Who in their right minds says a wife would be glowing over the potential murder of her beloved husband? And having experienced what I did with the First Lady on Saturday night, I can tell you that she was anything but that. This kind of rhetoric about the president, the First Lady, and his supporters is completely deranged, and it's unbelievable that the American people are consuming it night after night after night. As President Trump said on Saturday night at this podium, we as Americans must recommit ourselves to resolving our differences peacefully and uniting around the shared values that make our country great. The deranged lies and smears against the president, his family, his supporters have led crazy people to believe crazy things, and they are inspired to commit violence because of those words. It has to stop. People listen, and when you have mentally disturbed individuals across the country who are listening to this crazed rhetoric about the president day after day after day, it inspires them to do crazy things. And unfortunately, it's not just the media, it is the entire Democrat Party has made their pitch to voters across the country that Donald Trump poses an existential threat to democracy, that he is a fascist, and that they compare him to Hitler. I mean, these are despicable statements that the American people have been consuming for years. And so many mentally perturbed individuals are led to believe these words are truth and then are inspired to act on it. I have a whole host of examples that we can share with you after. It is pages and pages of major Democrat Party elected officials saying, such as Rep. Hakeem Jeffries just this month said, "We are in an era of maximum warfare everywhere all the time." Governor Josh Shapiro said heads need to roll within the administration. Senator Alex Padilla said people are, quote, dying because of fear and terror caused by the Trump administration. Senator Elizabeth Warren, President Trump is making the country look like a, quote, fascist state. Senator Adam Schiff saying President Trump using a dictator playbook. Senator Ed Markey calling President Trump a dictator, saying that this administration's actions are authoritarianism on steroids. Governor J.B. Pritzker, never before in my life have I called for mass protest disruptions. These Republicans cannot know a moment of peace. You have Rep. Presley saying, we'll see you in the streets. Rep. Monica McIver, a Democrat representative on Capitol Hill, we will not take this shit from Donald Trump. He thinks he's a dictator. We are at war. These are Democrat elected officials calling for war against the President of the United States and his supporters.
Damn.
Nuts. I made a montage of a lot of some of the old ones they used to have, a lot of the newer ones, and it got banned off TikTok right away. So, yep, the TikTok gave me a violation for that. And I don't even want to post it on YouTube. I'd play it right now, but I don't even know. I think it's just they're too violent. It's got Hassan Piker calling for straight up murdering, a genocide of conservatives. It's got Destiny calling for all these different things. Yeah, I guess I could just cut it out. You know what? Let's play this right here. This is what we're dealing with the left. This is why this stuff keeps happening. They are literally for it.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist blood.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite.
I want to watch him suffer.
You have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
No, there needs to be unrest in the streets.
You get out and you create a crowd, and you push back on them.
I'm ready for the great cleansing when we genocide conservatives.
You cannot be civil.
Please get up in the face of some Congress people.
People need to start taking to the streets. We need a revolution.
You said it's time to put Trump in the bullseye.
And everyone beware, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day.
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
Fight in the courts, fight in the streets.
It is a war. Everybody needs to pick up a weapon and get involved.
I'd like to punch him in the face.
He has to be eliminated.
Donald Trump has changed things. I'm not going to punch you back in your face. I'm going to go across your neck. You got to hit hard enough where they won't come back.
But we need an uprising for people are taking and to the street.
He needs to be shot.
Almost all white, almost all Republicans need to be deprogrammed.
Hitler.
Hitler. Hitler. Hitler. Hitler.
Hitler.
Hitler. Hitler.
Hitler.
Hitler. Hitler. Hitler.
Hitler. Adolf Hitler.
Investigators still have not found a motive.
We don't know the exact motive,
but his motives are still unclear at this hour.
What could it be? Oh my God, it's a mystery why this keeps happening.
What could be the motive,
dude?
That's what they were saying during that assassination attempt. We don't know what the motive is yet. Are you fucking kidding me? Of course you know what the motive is, you retard. Yeah, that's wild. I can't believe that compilation. Amazing video that you put together. Now I see why it gets taken down.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, fingers crossed it'll be all right. But it's because of everything they're doing. They are just checking off lists. We're gonna go right into here. This is one of the big things that came out this morning, which is, again, things that happened that people were very cynical about when they happened. But right off the bat, we had the FBI and Homeland Security executed 22 court-authorized search warrants at more than 20 locations, primarily businesses, including multiple child care, daycare centers, and at least one adult day services Somali senior center facility in Minnesota. DHS's official statement confirmed that these search warrants were indeed related to the rampant fraud of American taxpayer dollars. This investigation into fraud is federally funded social welfare programs, primarily billing for child care and adult daycare services that were not provided, or ghost children or phantom clients, misuse of theft of taxpayer dollars intended for legitimate social services, Medicaid, state child care assistance programs. And this is sort of what they were have been doing with our election stuff. All of a sudden, they just show up out of nowhere, catch you off guard, and they start getting files. So these were all 22 search warrants. They were all for the Minnesota daycare fraud centers. This is a major deal. This is the work of David Hawk and Nick Shirley. Absolutely lit the fuse on this. And the chairman of the task force to eliminate fraud, Vice President Vance, had this to say this morning. Let's get this up there. He said the task force and the DOJ will be relentless in exposing these fraudsters wherever they may be hiding. And I am absolutely here for it. This is a major thing to wake up to. Also, another pretty freaking awesome thing to wake up to today was, let's see, let's take this down here. This is a double whammy, this one, because it's not only a great step in fighting tyranny brought on by the pandemic, but it's also a massive delta. Today, former senior NIAID official Dr. Morenz and his co-conspirators were indicted for concealing federal records during COVID-19 pandemic. They are charged with deliberately concealing information and falsifying records in an effort to suppress alternative theories regarding the origins of COVID-19. Boom. And if you remember at the time, anyone suggesting anything other than the official narrative was indeed silenced. Now, if you pull up QPost 4003, which I have here on the left, from April 28th, 2020, it says, quote, "Why is the media banning anyone who challenges the COVID-19 narrative?" And here we are today on April 28th, 2026, and one of the NIAID officials and their co-conspirators were just indicted for suppressing anyone challenging the official COVID-19 narrative on a government level. Boom. Okay, how's that for a delta? Freaking some COVID-19 indictments and arrests.
Dude, that was exciting. I remember I saw that because, you know how I've been like the past week, things really ticked up. So guys, I've just been looking at the deltas, they could be deltas from 4 years, 5 years, whatever. I'm just looking at them. And I see that. I'm like, are you kidding me? And also 3 days ago, all the drops were about James Comey, son of a bitch, and them sending secret emails and all this kind of stuff. So they are definitely purposely holding these until these dates, I'm assuming. And so this is huge. And here's the thing. You remember back when that happened? I was getting censored. I was getting attacked. They're like, no, COVID came from a wet market, from a bat. I don't know. I remember going like, what? But the Wuhan lab is right there. And like,
no, it only didn't come from there when they were gain of function researching it.
Where they were COVID-19 viruses, no connection. But yeah, this is so vindicating for people, that have been following this, that have known the lies, been told to us from COVID on. Damn, it's a good day. It's a good day.
It's a good day. Yeah.
Now I think that this might, I don't know, I don't want to talk without knowing, but I remember hearing you say that this does have connections to the NIH or Fauci in some regard, or was that?
Well, it said that this guy was an advisor to Fauci. This is one of Fauci's advisors. Okay. And then it says, and his co-conspirators. So also people around him, but Dr. Morenz, Fauci advisor, was just indicted today. Pretty epic, I'd say. And again, a sick delta, and they are clearly doing everything they can to hit these deltas right now. You can just feel it, right? I imagine they have a board where certain things, they know when certain things are mentioned, they know what they're working on. Whenever they're ready, say, okay, this one's going to be on Wednesday, or obviously they're picking these out. And
yes,
I am definitely freaking here for it. And so many things have been happening. By the way, stay tuned. We're going to have a whole full breakdown of the events on Saturday. I also have an interesting thing that I haven't seen anywhere yet that I'm going to show you. I assume you guys are going to find it just as interesting as me, but just to put a cap on MAGA Weekly, because we'd like to do the wins. And this is a whole week of arrest indictment wins. If all of that wasn't enough, we also, this past Thursday, kicked off with a slew of pre-dawn raids against the Mexican Mafia in Operation Gangster's Paradise. 3 federal indictments charged 43 people as members and associates of the Mexican Mafia, also known as LAM. On the day of the raids, authorities arrested 25 to 26 individuals. Another 12 to 19 were already in state custody. This is largely ran out of the prisons, the Mexican Mafia. Okay, but they arrested, the main guy was running it from the prison, and they arrested a whole bunch of his outside associates who were taking care of everything for him. They're going to be the ones who are already in state custody are going to be arraigned federally, and so with a couple of fugitives known in some reports. Initial court appearances were held in Santa Ana and Los Angeles. This operation said to have struck a significant blow to the Orange County faction's operational hierarchy. Key arrests include Luis Cardenas, high-ranking member and regional leader who directed kidnappings, assaults, drug trafficking, extortion, retaliation via encrypted messages from behind bars. They also arrested his high-ranking street associates who carried out orders. Jamie Alvarado oversaw gang-controlled motels and directed violent retaliation. Karina Cessna directed retaliation and stored drugs, firearms. Mario Flores and Jose Madrigal, a.k.a. Sparky. That's the name of our dog. I thought that was funny. This was basically a takedown of Orange County command and control structure, not low-level street soldiers. So this is a pretty decent blow to the Orange County faction of the Mexican Mafia. The defendants. Actually, yeah, let me keep this up. Actually, they face a mix of serious federal charges across the indictment centered on racketeering enterprises. Specific allegations include racketeering conspiracy to operate illegal gambling businesses, slap houses, violent crimes in aid of racketeering, kidnapping, extortion, assault, murder, narcotics trafficking, fentanyl, methamphetamine, heroin, cocaine, firearms violations. And one specific murder is also being propped up in these. So here's the evidence that was seized. 8.8 pounds of fentanyl. Okay, fentanyl, you just need just a tiny amount to
Dear God.
overdose someone. That is enough to overdose millions of people. 120 pounds of meth. Jeez, dude. 2 pounds of heroin. 6.5 pounds of cocaine. 25 firearms. 30 grand in cash. If the street value on these drugs is about $3 million, from $2 million to $3.5 million, depending. And again, the fentanyl was enough to kill millions of people. So major operations been going down all year.
It's been badass.
It's hard to believe again, they're only 5 months. And boy, that is a week to freaking remember, especially today.
I agree. Epic breakdown.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So I guess now should we go to the Jimmy Kimmel stuff?
Yeah, let's do it. I got the video here.
Yeah,
and I know a lot of people, this is the thing. I know a lot of people saw this, Jimmy Kimmel saying she's got a glow of a widow. Okay. So I went there. I was like, okay, let's download it. Let's get the clips, cut it out myself. So I, get the whole context. I was like, dear God, this wasn't just obviously that was a crazy thing to say because that's referencing that somebody's going to die. Okay. Before an assassination attempt, very strange, Jimmy. But the whole thing, it's not only Melania, he attacks all of Trump's cabinet and specifically the ones that have been doing amazing things and specifically going at each one of them to do psychological warfare on them and also to just people that are watching Jimmy. When you watch him, he makes it sound like it's the worst administration in the world. And so I'll pull it up right here.
Yeah, it's pretty despicable.
Okay, so I think I'm going to start it. Yeah, I'm going to start it right here.
Also didn't want to pay me $130,000 to shut up. So here we are. Sorry, Mushroom.
It's so
By the way, in the unfortunate event that our president has a medical emergency tonight, do we have a doctor in the house? I'm sorry. Do we have a Jesus in the house?
That was really weird too.
Confuse them too.
In case he has a medical emergency.
This guy, every time he walks into a room, people say, Christ, he's back. You're looking good, though, Mr. President. Who did your makeup? Kraft Singles? As the president will tell you repeatedly until you beg him to stop, President Trump has accomplished so much during his second term. He passed new incentives for oil and gas. He put the brakes on solar and wind. That will be your legacy, sir. Breaking wind and passing gas. I do have to ask, though, why do you hate windmills so much? Is it because they can still get turned on by being blown? Marco knows what I'm talking about. He's been there. But I do want to praise the POTUS. Look how far you've come. 30 years ago, you were just some rich guy on Jeffrey Epstein's private jet out of Teterboro, but you worked hard, you stayed friends, you shared some wonderful secrets, and because of that, you were able to fly on that plane 7 more times. Dreams really do come true. Am I right, Dog the Bounty Hunter? That's right. We miss you so much. And of course, our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow. You know, Melania's birthday is on Sunday.
Stop it here.
That's right. She's
that's twice. Because the first time he says, just in case the president has an unexpected medical emergency tonight, says once. Then he tells Melania she has the glow of an expectant widow.
Yep.
Just noting that's twice. We're going to talk more about that in a minute.
And real quick too, because see, when he does that thing about saying, oh, he might have a medical emergency, then he references it and ties it into that meme of Trump saying he was the healer, right? That's a way that a normal person would interpret that. However, after what happened, you know, if I was somebody, I would look at him. You're suspicious, very suspicious to say these things right before an assassination attempt on the sitting president. So yeah, 2 times, and I'm glad you spotted
suspicious.
That. Planning to celebrate at home the same way she always does, looking out a window and whispering, "What have I done?" As you're all aware, Melania is a movie star now. Her documentary had a score of 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is a website named after her husband's testicles.
It is so disgusting. These people are just so low brow.
You remember that Rotten Tomato thing you showed me? So
yes.
he's a liar in all shapes and forms. So they'll run with those things, but actually
I have it right here.
Oh, great. Here, I'll pull this down.
Okay, so he goes, Rotten Tomatoes of 10%. Yeah, from the critics. And we, like everyone on planet Earth, it's an open secret about Rotten Tomatoes that the critics they'll automatically love the worst movie on Earth if it has a ton of virtual signaling. And if a movie doesn't, they automatically destroy it. So meaning what people really look to is the audience meter, which is 99% for Melania. Okay. And again, this just shows how fake they all are. 99 freaking percent. We watched it. I thought it was great.
Loved it.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. All right, let me pull it back up again.
Yeah.
Okay, so total lies about that.
As you're all aware, Melania is a movie star now. Her documentary had a score of 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is a website named after her husband's testicles. And I want to congratulate you, Madam First Lady, on your huge accomplishment, the world's first motionless picture. And that, oh, by the way, before we go any further, Melania, this is Donald. Donald, this is Melania. That was my impression of Jeffrey Epstein. Pretty good, right?
They're really going on. It's funny, Donald Trump's the only one who said anything about Jeffrey Epstein for 20 years.
JD Vance is here.
None of these people said shit.
It's hard to get JD to come to an event like this. He's a real homebody. His wife had to peel him off the couch. And that reminds me, please do not get up from your seats during the performance because the vice president will them.
Oh, sorry, 1 second.
Okay, I don't even know if I want to watch the rest of that. It's actually making me wrong.
Oh, you didn't want to watch the rest of it because it goes through the whole cabinet. Oh, okay.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, you can go for it.
Oh, okay.
What a group of patriots. Oh, look at who we have here, Stephen Miller. Which one of you said his name 3 times? Stephen Miller is so racist. The reason he went bald is because his hair was black. Stephen Miller puts the cyst in white supremacist.
Stephen Miller's Jewish.
Baby Hitler traveled into...
Yeah, that's true.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah. Did you really want me to go through, or do you not want me to give this guy a time?
Hey, you can go through it. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. The only reason why I thought it was very interesting, guys, is because it was an attack. If you think of him as he gets all his talking points in the CIA fed to him directly, what does this look like other than we're going to do verbal attacks, psychological labeling of these people so that people watching the news have these thoughts about them, which is completely untrue.
Time to kill us. Oh, hey, Mel. What's happening? Congrats on getting all your guns back, sugar tits. So many stars are here tonight. Mel Gibson, Rob Schneider is here. Kanye is with us. Roseanne is here. The whole cast of Who Used to Be a Millionaire is here. And if anyone starts any trouble, fear not, because FBI Director Kash Patel is standing by. Waitress, can we get Kash a vodka soda and a booster seat, please? You know, Trump announced that he wants to reopen Alcatraz, and Kash was like, you had me at Alca. I'm not saying Kash Patel has a problem, but his designated driver is Pete Hegseth. Pete, the accelerator's the one on the right, and the brake is on. Oh, you know it. Okay. Pete's hair has more oil in it right now than the Strait of Hormuz. And don't worry about the Strait. Pete has a plan. I know that for a fact. His wife accidentally butt-texted the plans to me. There you go. Later on, Pete's going to read us a Bible passage from Pulp Fiction, so stick around. But Pete's working hard to keep our country safe, and RFK Jr. is working out to make us healthy again. Bobby Kennedy, this is
going through
every
single
years ago, he wrote
one.
his diary that he pulled his car over to the side of the road to carve the penis out of a raccoon. His whole family was in the car, and his son asked him, Dad, why did you do that? Why did you chop the penis off a dead animal? And he looked at his son and he said, because I'm a psychopath. Now get out of this car and go get measles. Hey, speaking of psychopath sons, how about a round of applause for Eric and Don Jr. who are here tonight?
This guy's talking about psychopaths. Wait, pause this for 1 second.
If there's time.
Okay, on just for a second. RFK Jr. is actually making a difference in the world right now, while Jimmy Kimmel is just being the most worst piece of shit to ever fucking live. Here is just really quick. This is the effect that their policies and everything's happened. This is a steak and shake MAHA officer who was just there's only a minute. Let me just play this real fast because this is what MAHA is doing. They're actually making a difference while this guy cracks lewd, freaking perverted jokes.
Congratulations. Tell us what a chief MAHA officer actually does.
We are bringing fast food to what it was years ago, what my parents grew up with, what my grandparents grew up with, and what I grew up with for a short period of time. Real ingredients, real food that everyone can trust and pronounce.
And these are foods that we've been eating our entire lives. So tell us about what you're expecting to do. You're going to look at the menu and you're going to make some serious changes, right? Tell us about those changes.
We are. So, look, I think obviously Steak and Shake made a huge impact with the tallow fries. One of the first in the industry to do that. We're going seed oil free and looking at any and all opportunities to remove seed oils in the current landscape. One big move that we will be making come June 1st, we'll be rolling out grass-fed, grass-finished beef to all locations nationwide. We tested in local markets, and what we expected proved to be true. Customers loved it. So looking forward to that change.
You're muted. I think
that's freaking great. Steak and Shake is pretty awesome too. So that's cool. These are places that they're getting into it, man. They want to start bringing things back to the way they are. And oh my God, can we be done with that Kimmel clip? I can't stand his face.
Yes.
He gets me so angry. He's just so nasty, dude. What happened to him, man? I remember when Ben Stein's money, he was, I mean, I guess he didn't talk much in it, but he seemed all right. And a Windy City Heat and stuff. I remember him interviewing all them guys. He seemed okay. He is just the worst ever. And he's so nasty. And I'm sorry, dude. He made two things. He was extra cocky, right? He seemed very overconfident and extremely threatening, even for him, talking shit about when he was at one point. He even talked shit about when he was almost taken off air, probably right before where we cut it, after his shitty comments following the Charlie Kirk assassination, where he was trying to say that it was done by a MAGA person. He's acting like someone who won, who has no pushback to fear, right? Did he know ahead of time? Was this known behind the scenes? I want to share you this clip. This is from a teacher, Clay Cunningham, teacher in River Valley Middle School. And again, it's Cole Thomas Allen was a teacher. So did people know in these circles? Listen to what this guy has to say.
Champagne or whatever, but I want to remind everybody, people are saying it's going to happen this weekend and they're buying champagne or whatever, but I want to remind everybody that we need to make sure that they don't bury it. We need to hang it out front of the White House for the birds to pick clean. And then once it's picked clean, we need to bronze it and install it over the entryway to the White House so that the next person who gets in there knows what's coming for them. And if they try to take it down, they can replace it. People are saying it's going
to happen. So just so you know, it's going to happen. That's their code. They all talk about it. That's all about Trump being assassinated. Isn't that crazy? That's like an actual thing that they all talk about in these left-wing circles. And they say, it's going to happen. When is it going to happen? It's going to happen this weekend. So this guy was saying that word was going around that it was going to happen this weekend. That he had Jimmy Kimmel saying that Melania looked like an expectant widow in his, literally, he was doing a mock White House Correspondents' dinner roast, and then saying that if Donald Trump has an unexpected emergency, I think that this was going around. This was planned. My opinion.
100%. And then because of that whole thing with Jimmy Kimmel, right? Here, can I pull this down?
Yes.
Real quick before we move on, Melania's response is what I wanted to focus on real quick. So the one thing I noticed about the posturing of the Trump administration in these past few days, is even especially after the assassination attempt, is Trump came out and he was the bit better man and he didn't go on with the roast that he wanted to because he knew they would have loved that because it would have caused even more division and riots in the streets. So he was a bigger man. But so right, that all happened. So Melania coming out and then addressing. And Melania, she posts on her social media, but I haven't really seen her post like this. So this was absolute fire. And I just want to read her response to that disgusting thing that we were just watching. She says, Kimmel's hateful and violent rhetoric is intended to divide our country. His monologue about my family isn't comedy. His words are corrosive and deepens the political sickness within America. People like Kimmel shouldn't have the opportunity to enter our homes. This is my favorite part, by the way. This has to do with psychological warfare. People like Kimmel shouldn't have the opportunity to enter our homes each evening to spread hate. A coward, Kimmel hides behind ABC because he knows the network will keep running cover to protect him. Enough is enough. It is time for ABC to take a stand. How many times will ABC's leadership enable Kimmel's atrocious behavior at the expense of our country? But it's really like how she highlighted that he's entering our homes through the TV. And so that's letting you know, be careful what you're consuming. Be careful what you're taking in. And these liberals have taken in Jimmy Kimmel, and they have told because Jimmy Kimmel, so, says it's like it's fact, all these people that say Trump's an evil dictator, they actually have believed it. They actually believe that he's a pedophile. Insane. But that makes sense again, like you're saying with what Cuffeld was saying, is they're just reacting to something normal. Like if somebody really was a pedophile, right? As we know,
Right.
and really was doing all these things that they say that he's doing, well, then sure, that would make sense. But he's not. So you understand it is a battle for the mind. It is a battle for, everyone's minds really is what we're seeing. There's a physical war, but as the Delta says today, the invisible war continues, right? So, I just love Melania coming out, being a badass, and just calling him out for being absolutely disgusting.
I love that she's speaking up. I think these are things that need to be said. We do say it a lot, but it's nice to see when it's catching up. A lot more around the country are saying it, and even people like Melania. It needs to be said. Jimmy Kimmel is so freaking out of line. It's insane. And he's not the only one. They have a whole slew of them who are just like that, but he is the nastiest one, that's for sure. And I don't know who the hell he thinks he is, but he's a problem, dude. He really is. Now, I saw someone that's in the chat. I don't think they're kidding either. They said, did the Southern Poverty Law Center plan this? Yeah, maybe. The Southern Poverty Law Center is at very least culpable. Here is a state senator, and she had in 2022. Oh no, this might go back to 2018. I want to say, where she had posted about killing Donald Trump on her Facebook. Here is her not apologizing for it.
I posted something on my personal Facebook, and I should not have done that. And for that, I'm sorry for that. But I am not, as I said, going to shy away from what caused that anger at all. I'm not going to shy away from that. No, I don't want to see anyone assassinated, but he should not be president.
Okay, in another clip, maybe it's this one. Hold on. Let me play this other clip.
There is no way in hell that I'm resigning.
Missouri State Senator Maria Chappelle Nadal is taking heat over a comment she made on her personal Facebook page. Nadal wrote, "I hope Trump is assassinated," following President Trump's press conference on the violence in Virginia. But in an interview with KMOX, Nadal said she won't apologize.
She told us that it was on her personal Facebook page. In fact.
Okay, so here's the important thing, right? She says she hopes he's assassinated after his press conference, the Charlottesville protests that turned the deadly Charlottesville protest, that the media then lied about what he said about very fine people, and they left out that he said, and I don't mean the neo-Nazis or the white supremacists. By them, the two combined, the Southern Poverty Law Center helping to set that farce up with Rent the Nazis, and then the media using it and blowing it out of proportion. They both knew what was going on, by the way. That's an op. There's no one innocent in this on that side. And then they did that, and then you have people like her, a state senator, Maria Chappelle Nadal, posting that she hopes he is assassinated. So these things are caused, whether or not the Southern Poverty Law Center explicitly was behind funding or helping organize what Cole Allen did on Saturday. They are behind it. They are behind all of this hate. All of these people are. I'm sure the ADL is doing it. We're almost pretty positive George Soros funds things like this. Obviously, Democratic lawmakers and big-time influencers, they totally provoke and stoke these things. They're all culpable. But here is a direct connection to someone posting, I hope Donald Trump is assassinated, because of what went down and what was set up by the Southern Poverty Law Center in Charlottesville.
Yeah, dude, I found it. I just want to share this real quick when you're saying that. I did find that George Soros has donated to them, longtime supporter. He's pledged funds for anti-hate initiatives. You know, I thought this was also interesting. George Clooney, he donated $1 million in one reported instance. But yeah, there's multiple ones. But George Soros, he always has his fingers in not all of these things, doesn't he? I mean, didn't he come out and just straight up say, you know, he even said Trump is a phenomenon that will disappear. And then he goes, didn't he say it's his determination or it's his goal to destroy America? Is that an old quote from him? I just remember going, how is this guy even running around? Why is this guy even propped up?
Him and his son, where they put their money is quite questionable, and their motives behind it are, they're pretty much known. Obviously, we've seen him do it abroad, but he did in Georgia and all these other countries abroad with his color revolutions. Did the Orange Revolution in Ukraine, right? Now everyone knows Ukraine a lot more intimately. It's what people like they do. They've been wreaking havoc forever. This is revolution. It's color revolution. They're trying to do it here for a long time. George Soros, he was doing a lot of meddling over in Europe in the late 90s and early 2000s. And then in 2004, he explicitly even told the newspapers this, said, I'm going to focus my attention towards America. If you look up until 2004, this stuff was politics were relatively normal. Obviously, they felt much more heightened after 9/11, but there wasn't this your side is Satan and your side is Hitler stuff. That all started around 2004. And I know this because I used to watch The Daily Show. Believe it or not, it's one of my favorite shows back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I got cable back in 1999. That was one of the first shows I thought was really funny and started watching. And I'm always been conservative. So it's not like I was some liberal watching that show. That show just made fun of politicians on every side. It really did. And then it started turning a little bit, but man, I got to tell you, around 2003, 2004, it went far turned. So the fact that those two things line up can't be a coincidence. Until after a couple of years, then I just stopped watching altogether.
The Great Purge. That's when you're like, I'm done watching news and TV.
Like, how much do you watch it? Right? It's like, okay, you guys hate me. Got it. Point taken. You hate people like me. Why am I watching your show?
Yep. Okay, I don't even know where we're at right now.
I would say, can we go to this Dan Scavino post?
Yes. Where did I put that?
It's just down just a little bit more.
Yeah, if you can find it.
Yeah, I have it. You wish I pull it up?
Yeah, please do. I don't know where I put that. Oh, it's right here. Okay, so we're going from here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just thought this was so great, man. And I got to tell you, we did the coverage of this on Saturday. I'd been up all night, so I did it almost on no. And, emotions are running high. It's an emotional thing. I know everyone was okay, but it's like, man, dude. Oh, it's just so freaking, if you care, those things affect you. And there was one moment when we were watching where it's just showing a clip and Scavino's in the background. You can see him just like, USA. And I heard it in his voice. And I know that was an adrenaline dump right there. That was, my nerves are so shot from what happened. I just need to yell. And like Abby pointed this out afterwards, that it changed my whole mood. It was like almost like I've been there before. You get into a fight or something happens or something crazy happens, and all of a sudden you just like you're just screaming for no reason. And so that was a really real moment, and I'm really sorry that these people have to go through this, but I understand why they're doing it, and I'm so proud to just live in a country where there are people who can stand up and be heroic like this. But anyway, this post I thought that was great. Said there was nothing better for the president and those of us who were with him in Butler, Pennsylvania, than to go back and finish what was started. After the assassination attempt in Butler, many of us in attendance had to go through a healing process, just as many of us will have to do who attended the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I can assure you, as someone who has sadly been through this more than once, that a significant part of the process is not letting the lunatic win. Finish what was started. There were awards to be given and speeches to be made. This is a time to unify, to come together, and to move forward together. The president has made it clear that he is all in. We live in the greatest country in the world, and it's imperative to finish what we started at the White House Correspondents Association. This is another defining moment. As President Trump has made clear, I hope that we can have it within a short period of time, because we can't let these criminals and these really bad people change the course of events in our country. USA. Amen, dude.
Yeah. And that goes on with this. Are you ready to finish what we started? Nothing can stop what is coming is not just a catchphrase. So I know he didn't say it verbatim of are you ready to finish what we started, but pretty much, I believe that's what he's saying. And, I liked, like, Brad, what you're talking about with his response, because, and how he just like full adrenaline rush. All of us, and we even felt out Charlie Kirk, interesting with these parallels here, but it's like you get to know these people, you support them, you trust them, you acknowledge they're standing up for what's right and true, right? And then so when something is happening to them, it's like your family member. Like Trump is like my dad. You know what I mean? Like that's how it feels. Like you're gonna freaking mess with this, you might bring it, And I agree with how you felt. Like I felt that way that night. I felt that way every single assassination attempt I hear. I pray, I do what I can. But this, again, I think I could go into this in depth on my show, is way beyond politics. Yeah. This is spiritual warfare, because Trump, like I said, is in the process of rededicating our country to God. And there are deep powers in the global cabal that know that that's powerful and they want to stop it. And that's why you're seeing these types of reactions. So again, there are players, right? The assassin, he's just programmed by mainstream media. He popped off, but this is what we're going to be facing. And, not to scare anybody, but understand this is the psychological warfare that we're going to be battling. This is the talking points that we're going to have to prove that are false with evidence. And a lot of us have archived things offline. And so it's going to be fun, I think, as these scenes come forward, because we're the news now, right? And as these deltas are hit, if they want to do that, guess what? We have all the memes made already. They were made 8 years ago. So, yeah.
They
so
don't have
really
the memes
cool.
I have.
Yeah, you don't have the memes I have.
Oh my gosh, how do we not have that queued up? We need that.
I have it on mine.
My spirit animal.
Okay, so yes. So with that, this would be a great time to, let me open this up here. Now, Brad, I was going to cut out clips of this, and I didn't get to it.
Is this 60 minutes?
Yeah, do you want us to jump in this?
Yeah, definitely. I love, at very least, I want to just play where he calls her out right to her stupid face.
Yeah, I have that timestamp. So, guys, this is, of course, President Trump's interview with 60 Minutes, and he details his experience at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, where a gunman charged toward the ballroom. He says he wasn't worried and praised the actions of law enforcement. Now, I'm going to start it from about here.
But it was about 50 yards away. 50 yards is a lot of yards. Now, when a guy's running at that speed, he was a very fast person. And he got him by a little bit by surprise, but that didn't matter because he was totally subdued very shortly after he passed that one point.
The so-called manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it. He writes this quote, administration officials, they are targets. And he also wrote this, I'm no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction
Well,
to that?
I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people, horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Oh, you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me.
What?
From some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things. But I said to myself, I'll do this interview and they'll probably, I read the manifesto, he's a sick person, but you should be ashamed of yourself reading that because I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
and I
these
was
are
never,
the gunman's words.
excuse me. You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace. But go ahead. Let's finish the interview.
The other thing that he wrote in
You're disgraceful.
the other thing in the manifesto that I think is worth looking at in terms of determining his motive is he had been staying at the hotel since Friday. He checked in, he said he had cased the place, and he wrote, "What the hell is the Secret Service doing?" And he wrote this quote, "I expected security cameras at every bend, bugged hotel rooms, armed agents every 10 feet, metal detectors out the wazoo. What I got is nothing." He wrote, like, this level of incompetence is insane. Sir, you have already had two
Well, he was
attempted
pretty incompetent too because he got caught. And he got caught pretty easily. So I'd say he was pretty incompetent too. I can take any event having to do with security or anything else. I can always find fault, no matter what. I can take a baseball team that won the game 18-0 and say they should have played better.
Exactly. Glass half
Those guys
empty,
did
half
a
full.
good job last night. They did a really good job. Now, do they make adjustments? They do. They learn. They make adjustments. We're living in a different world with the internet than we had years ago. But even years ago, it was very dangerous. I mean, just ask Honest Abe Lincoln. Pretty dangerous. And but we are living a very, the internet, I think maybe more than anything else, it's radicalized some people. It's made people mentally sick. It's also a great thing. It's a phenomenal thing. We're the leader in it. We're the leader in AI. It's a great thing, but you'll always find problems.
So I really just like how he highlighted, if you're going to be looking for a problem, you're going to find it. If you're going to be looking for something positive, you're going to find it. So this is where I get frustrated with the so-called press. They are always slanted. They are always biased. It's complete bullshit. You should report the facts. Just report what happened. And then also, so how Trump, he's always like basically calling out the fake news, always focusing on the bad, always putting out this projection of something's wrong, something's always bad. And then people are going to feel that. And then he highlights the internet, how people will get in these circles and hear these things over and over again, looping in their mind. And like I've said so many times before in the MK Ultra program, that's exactly how they brainwash people, is repetitive programming. So Trump's calling it out. Now, however, I love how he also says the internet can be used for good. And I've seen these arguments where they're like, it's all bad, it's all bad. It's not. It's just like a gun. Guys, I can use a gun for awesomeness, to protect myself, to protect my family. Yeah, I can use it for hunting too. I do. But you could use it for wrong as well. But does that mean that you don't use it? No, that's actually fear. So I love how Trump is just focusing on the positive and showing that the fake news, reading those things, calling him a P word and all this stuff. Completely fake, but it's the talking points, right? So they can say that and they can clip it out and there you go. And, but we're we've caught on to that tactic, pretty savvy now.
Nobody said, I knew you were going to read that. That was amazing.
He knew she was going to freaking read it. She couldn't help herself. But do you want me to play any more of it? Because there is more. I'm not sure. It's like 40 minutes. So
yeah. Do you have any specific spots?
No.
Just let her play a little bit at least because he's killing her.
Yeah,
but it's a different
figuratively.
Age. It's a very different. It's a very different time.
I mentioned that because, again, as his motive, you brought this up, he had social media accounts that had anti-Trump and anti-Christian rhetoric.
You should read. Why don't you read all the anti-Trump? Why don't you read it? You just did, so why don't you read it?
Yeah.
Well, he had a lot of anti-Christian rhetoric. He was
Skipping
a
on
part of a
over.
group called the Wide Awakes. He had attended a No Kings protest in California.
No kings.
What did security tell you about what
See,
may have been his
part-
motives?
The reason you have people like that is you have people doing no kings. I'm not a king. What I am, if I was a king, I wouldn't be dealing with you. No, I'm not a king. I get it. I don't laugh. I see these no kings, which are funded just like the Southern Law was funded. You saw all that. Southern Law is financing the KKK and lots of other radical, terrible groups. And then they go out and they say, oh, we've got to stop the KKK. And yet they give them hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars. It's a total scam run by the Democrats. It shows you that, like Charlottesville was all funded by the Southern Law. That was a Southern Law deal too. And it was done to make me look bad, and it turned out to be a total fake. It basically was a rigged election. This was a part of the rigging of the election. And that's what you really should be doing. I mean, I hope one of your 60-minute episodes, which really hasn't changed very much from the last few years, I'm surprised, but one of those episodes should be on Southern Law and the fact that they spent millions and millions of dollars on absolute far right and just bad groups. And then they'd use those groups and they'd say, these are Republican groups and we're coming to your rescue. And they're the ones that have funded it, and they're the ones that keep them going. Pretty sad. Do you think it's pretty sad, Nora?
The allegations and the indictment.
They're not
laid
just
out by-
allegations.
It was
These
an
are-
indictment.
These are
Yes.
facts, okay? These are facts. I mean, they have checks to the Ku Klux Klan and many others, and then they're saying how bad they are and blaming the Republican Party and Republicans. These are not just allegations, but go ahead.
Well, as you know, sir, you've been accused of things and we're able to go to a court of law and adjudicate them. So
Yeah,
allegations and indictments.
After 5 years, that's true. It takes you about 5 years.
I do want to talk about that.
Well,
And
I've
you've
also won.
Dude,
a
he don't
lot of
care
money from
anymore. I love
fake
it.
news media, where they write falsely about me, and not
Fake
that I want to
news
sue people
media.
because I don't. But I bring lawsuits against the fake news. I brought lawsuits against your network, and you paid me $38 million because you did something that was so horrible
Yep.
with
They
Kamala.
edited.
You put an answer down that wasn't responsive to the question because her real answer was so bad, it was election threatening. And you paid me a lot of money. You tried to pull one off. It was terrible. It was a terrible thing that you did. And, you know, when you say, can we all get along? You can, but when people do things like that, or how about the BBC, where the BBC has me, actually AI, they had me saying a horrible statement. I said, I never said that. It turned out they gave me an AI, a little AI treatment where they have my lips speaking words.
A little
of hate,
AI treatment.
tremendous hate that I never said. They don't know what to do. They've admitted they're wrong. They just don't know what to do. They actually have me making a major statement, and it wasn't me. It was my face. It was my lips. My lips were perfectly in sync with the words. I said, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So
I hear you, Mr. President.
so then when you say, can you get along? I can get along with anybody, but if people are going to cheat, if people are going to be fake, you sort of don't want to get along.
On that, what do you say to people who are encouraging political violence or even cheering it on?
Well, I think the ones that are doing that are much more far left than far right, much more. When you see, again, Southern Law, when you see some of the statements that are made that are so, even when you say no kings, that's encouraging. You're saying one of the things this guy said in his manifesto, which you didn't read, you should have, is that he attended a no kings rally along with not too many people. And probably it had an impact. You know, they get up and they say whatever they want. No, I'm against that. I think it's terrible.
Also at the dinner last night was your secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. His sister, Carrie Kennedy, was there. They've both witnessed their father and their uncle be assassinated.
That's right.
Erica Kirk was there. The House Majority Leader, Steve Scalise, was there.
Yeah.
Political violence has touched so many people in that room. Is there
only on one
something
side.
that you as president can do?
Exactly.
What can be done to change the trajectory?
You go back 20 years, 40 years, 100 years, 200 years, 500 years. It's always been there. People are assassinated, people are injured, people are hurt. And I'm not sure that there's any more now than there was. I do think that the hate speech of the Democrats, much more so, is very dangerous. I really think it's very dangerous for the country. I think the fact that I've accomplished so much, I've made our country great again. I mean, this country was dead. Our country was dead. A year and a half ago, sleepy Joe Biden had no idea what he was doing. I don't think it was him either. I think it was the people that surround him in the Oval Office at the beautiful Resolute desk. I don't think he knew what he was doing. He didn't sign anything. He used the auto pen to sign 90% of the things. I think that they they really created a tremendous amount of anger and hate. Our country was dead, and now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. No, not even close.
Last night,
as an example, investments in the country for 4 years, less than $1 trillion under Biden. In 11 months, $18 trillion under Trump. Now, most people are happy about that, but some people are really angry about it. You know why? Because it means we should be around for a long time, and they don't want that to happen.
last night you had very much a tone of unity when you were in the White House press briefing room.
I think so, yeah. I think I really felt very calm. I feel very calm, and I feel very calm right now, other than a couple of your questions, which
calm before the
meant
storm,
to antagonize and totally inappropriate.
Oh, this is.
But I feel very calm.
Yeah, it is.
I thought last night was a very important thing to do, and people have said I did it well. Not an easy thing to do. You know, you leave a scene like that, and then you're supposed to let our country and even the world know that it's going to be okay.
And what about when we're talking about the division in this country, the political violence? Now many of your cabinet secretaries live on military bases.
Yeah.
In order to, because of the potential threats against them.
Well, they choose to. I'm not sure that they need to. They also have nice places, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Democrats did the same thing. Some of the housing on the military bases is very nice. I'm not sure they do it necessarily for violence, but probably it's not the worst thing in the world. Look, we are consequential. This is a consequential presidency. I have a great cabinet, and they do things that are very good. But some people, you know, if they're good for us, they're not good for other people. Like, as an example, Iran, they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. They will not have. They're not going to blow up the world. They're crazy. They're not going to blow up the world. And therefore, they're not happy. And when they're not happy, people do things that are violent. Now, I'm not tracing anything back to them, but certainly if they had a shot, they'd probably take it.
That was a little interesting there.
Yeah. That was, man, he gave it to her good, dude. So, he's certainly not holding back these days, that's for sure.
Yep, 100%.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to, first of all, shout out Andrea Wallace, says that the internet is good because she connected with all of us because of the internet. And thank God you creators exist. Appreciate it. Says, glad you guys caught the show tonight, America. So, America indeed. Also, shout out to Rook Irish, who said, just stopping in to say hi to you guys. Give a thumbs up and wish you good luck as you begin your new journey. Much appreciated. We're gonna break for a quick. I'm gonna have a quick ad here for you guys, and then I have something for you on the other end of it that, again, I haven't seen anywhere, and I think it means something. So I'm curious to see what you guys think. But first, I'm going to tell you all about a little something called Rumble Wallet. They can cancel your accounts, freeze your cards, decide what you're allowed to buy, say, or support. Big banks and financial institutions have total control, and they use it. That's why financial independence matters more now than ever. Introducing Rumble Wallet, a wallet built for real freedom. With Rumble Wallet, you can control your money. Not a bank, not a government, not a tech company. Buy digital assets like Tether, Tether Gold, and Bitcoin all in one secure place. No permission, no middlemen, no cancel button. And when you want to support the creators you actually believe in, you could use the Rumble Wallet app to directly tip content creators securely, instantly, and without interference. This isn't a credit line they can shut off. It's your wallet permanently. Yours to protect your future, yours to protect your family. And when the system fails, when institutions turn their power on their own people, financial sovereignty is the difference between security and vulnerability. Rumble Wallet isn't about politics, it's about freedom, ownership, and protecting what is yours. So take control today. Download Rumble Wallet now and step away from big banks for good. True ownership, true protection, true financial freedom. Boom. Yeah, and shout out to Rumble also. Rumble Premium. It's pretty freaking sweet. But now if I could have your attention for a moment.
We're gonna go down a rabbit hole?
We're gonna go down a quick rabbit hole, okay? Yes. Here is Ryan Routh. This is the guy who was attempted to kill Trump on his golf course in Florida. And it had turned up that he was in an Associated Press video where they were filming demonstrators in Kyiv's Independence Square 2 months after Russia invaded Ukraine. And you can see him in this footage. And this is New York Post is re-uploading this. Again, this is from 2022. This is the Associated Press, okay? I am going somewhere.
Got a flag around his neck.
So, okay. What are the odds that he was also in recruitment videos trying to recruit people to go to Ukraine to fight for Ukraine, and here he is in a press that they had taken for the now a lot of times, have you ever seen behind the scenes at these things? They'll set them up and say, okay, everyone stand over here, hold up your signs, right? They're all lined up neatly here. That was probably a press person who was just walking there. So Ryan Routh is there. I mean, this guy is a part of something. He just happens to be in newsreel. Okay, that's interesting. Well, now here is. This is
Pennsylvania. Financial.
Was his name Thomas Crooks? Yeah, Thomas Crooks. This is in a BlackRock ad.
Oh. My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and Honors Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do. I hope when I retire someday, they say, that guy.
There he is.
Place, a special place to come to
there he is.
As much as he could to help the community.
Okay, so that's one would-be assassin is in press reels from the Associated Press.
Yeah, read it on again so I can see it better. Okay, there he is.
Is here in a BlackRock commercial. Okay, I want to also remind us, guys, of this. If let's see if I'm sharing. Okay, this is from 2017, 1 year before Parkland.
That's making waves. A Redondo Beach lifeguard and a teenage boogie boarder get in a heated argument, and it's all caught on video. CBS 2's Andrea Fujii is live in Redondo Beach. Andrea.
Oh, Pat, this argument was all about a boogie board that was placed on top of a trash can just like this. It was all caught on video, and tonight that lifeguard is under review.
Don't take this the wrong way, but can you go away?
David Hogg says his 17-year-old friend put his boogie board on this beach trash can. And when a lifeguard asked him to move it, he did. But then the situation took a turn.
He said, I didn't know it was a crime to put your board on the trash can, because he just didn't want it to get sandy.
That's when David.
Okay, that was 1 year before he became famous as the kid who first said that he was there when it happened, hiding in a closet. Then in later interviews said he heard about it while I was home, and then he rushed with his bike. And then in another interview, he said that he ran home after it happened. Instead of hiding in the closet, grabbed his camera and rushed back there. There's 3 different stories. And here he is. He's in a freaking also. He's in a newsreel, news story. This is CBS. 1 year before, he's also in California, the other side of the country. I mean, not that people don't travel, but he's a kid, right? So he's there with his friend in California. That's interesting. And then there is this, what I found this morning. Here is ABC 7 from 2017.
Audio Jack, a company that designs audio recordings to help those who've been out of social circulation.
To give you a chance to feel like you're in an environment that you normally wouldn't maybe have the opportunity to be at.
A recent Aging into the Future conference held by St. Barnabas Senior Services and the Eisner Foundation offered a test run on products that have the potential to enrich the lives of seniors.
14 different tech startups got to present to over 350 people in the hopes of getting their projects into some sort of senior health facilities.
We not only address the wants and needs of a broader older adult population, but also for those who are at risk populations who may not necessarily have access to this information and the technology.
Heal is a physician house call service.
Watch right
and we
after
are
this.
tech enabled. So we have an app. You can request a doctor and we'll come out within 2 hours.
College student Cole Allen developed a prototype for a wheelchair emergency brake.
The wheelchair brakes tend to lock the wheels, but don't actually lock the chair to the ground. The idea with this is to prevent it from moving at all.
Lumium virtual reality goggles.
So there's another one. Well, what are the odds? I mean, dude, like put a 1 in the chat if you've ever been part of a news segment in your life. But all of these guys are. They're all part of either news or media. Ryan Routh is in an AP B-roll for the Ukraine war. Thomas Crooks is in a BlackRock commercial. David Hogg was on a CBS report on the other side of the country 1 year before he became the poster boy for "We got to get the guns." And now Cole Allen is in a news report from ABC from 2017.
Yeah, play it again.
What the hell, dude? These people, these are assets. These are assets that are being deployed.
2 hours.
College student Cole Allen developed a prototype for a wheelchair emergency brake.
The wheelchair brakes tend to lock the wheels, but don't actually lock the chair to the ground. The idea with this is to prevent it from moving at all.
Lumium virtual reality.
I mean, I gotta say something here. It's just like PVC pipes. Like, it's not like groundbreaking.
I know, like,
and like just like all the things that you're talking about. David Hogg. I set my thing on a trash can, and what, the news is going to report about that? Yeah, media training, 100%. I agree with you guys in chat. Yes, it was. I think these are like test runs.
Yes.
How are you going to do in a commercial? How are you going to do in a BlackRock commercial? How are you going to do on the news, David Hogg? Because you're going to be on the news here in a year. How are you going to do? You know what I mean? Like, again, this is just. But Brad, you found this? I haven't seen this anywhere.
Yeah, I was just trying to get pictures of him for when we're going to do a breakdown, point by point breakdown of what happened on Saturday. So I was just looking for a picture to put on the one thing. And that's how I'm just digging. I'm digging in the pictures, and I'm on like page 2, and I see, oh, this is random. And I click on this, and it mentions this. So then I went and found it, and sure enough, it exists. So, what the frick, dude? Wow. It was actually ABC. What I ran into was ABC News mentioning it themselves. And then I went and I was able to find ABC News still has it up. This is right on their website.
That is wild. Wow.
Eyewitness News. I'm sorry, that means something to me. That every one of them is in a freaking left-wing something. And I see a few of you said that you're in like random things. Steph Flig says 1, but it was not a big news channel, News Channel 12. Well, if you ever try to kill anyone, make sure to dig it up.
Oh, no. No.
I'd like to believe no one in our chat has that in them. So kids go Central Casting. Bingo.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, and Brad, let me pull this up real quick here. To circle back, because we're going to go into that report, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so this was just something that I had come across where during they had the protest right outside of the Hilton Hotel, and there were some regular signs that looked like the copy paste signs and stuff, but then there was really nasty ones like death to a tyrant or death to all of them, right? And let's see, I guess I don't have. Oh yes, I do have it. I'm going to just share. I have to pull it up as a video file, so just a moment.
So crazy, dude. It's wild how comfortable they all are just being hateful psychos. This is not the way. And I guess it's weird because I think sometimes I'm like, am I doing the same thing? I say liberalism is just like a cancer, but that's the ideology of liberalism. I would never, ever, ever want someone to go injure or harm a liberal. Like, dude, I want to save these people. They have been taken in by a total scam. And it's really ruined their relationships with a lot of people. It's in some ways ruined them as people. Not every one of them goes completely off deep end, but man, a lot of them at least have a compartmentalized part of their brain where when it comes to politics or anything political, they just can't even function without seething red hatred. I want to say, I want to help that. I would like to help those people, not hurt them.
And I'm the same way, and I know there's people that they're like, screw them, they're lost cause, move on. But there are ones that they're the agitators that, they're probably going to be lost causes, right? Or they're paid shills. But then there are the people. Like, see this lady here? Who knows, right? She's in this protest. But the whole point I want to show you guys is who goes out. Like, let's say I was protesting against Biden. Would I be dressed up like Biden in a gel suit with blood? Like, that's the difference here. Like, they want death, right? Oh yeah, This is great, Brad. You got to hear this one. Okay, tell me this is an actor.
Have been paying for Israel's crimes for years, for paying for mothers and babies to be murdered. The last straw was Netanyahu starting this war that we're now sucked into, and American troops dying. I'm done with it. My tax dollars are going towards the death of American troops and things that go against the American values that I was raised with. Israel has no part in America. Israel's un-American. Donald Trump is un-American. Bibi Netanyahu is un-American. They don't know what it means to be American. So I'm tired of paying for it.
Okay, so that was his spiel. I cut that out, by the way. It was so funny. Sorry, I didn't mean to rewind it. It was so funny because he's like straight up acting. Like, the guy's filming him. He's like, okay, I don't like Donald Trump because he is a dictator and he is friends with Netanyahu. Like, where's your passion, bro? Where's your, clearly he's here to say a talking point. That was something I noticed.
Yep.
And just real quick, just want you guys to see. Now, I'll mute it. This all happened before. Okay. And also, they're all wearing these, the coordinated masks you see here. Really creepy. It's like Joker, honestly. This is not happy people.
No, definitely not. Isn't it crazy that this happens everywhere Trump goes? They do this. Someone is paying for this. So people aren't just doing this on their own. They can't look up anything. This is why they fall for all this fake news. You think they're actually doing research on where the next event is or anything?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys kind of get the idea of the rhetoric that was out there. And the one thing that I want everybody to understand is after they heard that there was gunshots and there was a thing happening in the hotel, they still continued. They still were out there. Yeah, that's a Trump. Now, I couldn't find actual video, but I guarantee they were probably excited. That's what we're facing. That's the rhetoric we're facing. And really quick, Brad, before I go into that, I just want to play this one more thing here. There was just Trump's administration calling out the fake news, calling out
Love
that
it.
type of rhetoric.
Freaking love it.
And I mean specifically you, the press, specifically you,
Yeah,
the
the
press
press.
corps, because you cheer against Trump so hard. It's like in your DNA and in your blood to cheer against Trump because you want him not to be successful so bad. You have to cheer against the efficacy of these strikes. You have to hope maybe they weren't effective. Maybe the way the Trump administration has represented them isn't true. So let's take half-truths, spun information, leaked information, and then spin it in every way we can to try to cause doubt and manipulate the public mind over whether or not our brave pilots were successful.
Manipulate the public mind. So remember, psychological warfare. He goes on, but then I want to share this with Todd Blanche saying the same thing.
Political violence and rhetoric has got to stop. And that's something President Trump said right after the incident on Saturday night. It's something that Carolyn Levitt talked about a couple hours ago. It is something that is, when you have a president who and many people in this room, if we're going to be honest about it, is done as well. They're just as guilty as a lot of people on X. When you have reporters, when you have media just being overly critical and calling the president horrible names for no reason and without evidence, without proof, it shouldn't surprise us that this type of rhetoric takes place. If you look at what it appears that this defendant had in his past, we're talking about somebody who is college educated, who has a job, who is otherwise living his life. And we'll find out more about him, as I expect, in the coming days and weeks. But he chose to do what he did, and so our threat environment is we are ready. I mean, I'm not going to go through what Director Patel just talked about with the way we responded, but this was something that we will always be prepared for, and it's sad that it has to happen, but it's not a new thing, unfortunately.
But yeah, just to focus on both of them, just saying it's the rhetoric, it's you guys weaponizing. So that when you program somebody and you program them for 8 consecutive years to hate something, and then you ping them, they're going to do exactly what they were programmed to do. And so I love how, Trump's administration is saying, look, this is like, I love how, look, he wasn't a regular person, right, for wanting to go kill somebody. However, he was a regular left mindset. Like, this is what we're facing. Yeah. So I love how they're bringing that out and telling the truth about it. We're not the same. And the Democrat Party is not the same that they used to be like in the 60s. It's just, if the Democrat Party saw how far they've come, and I know they've had a bunch of bad stuff in the past. I understand that. But the regular Americans that are like, I'm just voting Democrat. You need to leave that party ASAP. They are insane. They want to destroy this country. They're okay with assassinating a sitting president. What? So yeah, pretty wild stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It's beyond the pale. And again, it's only gotten worse over the last 10 years because they haven't stopped for 10 years. That's why at the end of that montage, I cut out, all the Hitler. They call him Hitler so much. That montage I made was from 1 24-hour period. Okay. It was a single instance I was able to find. And that was from one day. So you can make a montage a day for how much they call this guy Adolf Hitler. It's absolutely
when I saw you piece that together, I assumed, that you had to find and search when they called him Hitler. You're telling me that was just the news cycle of the day.
Well, I was finding them from everywhere, obviously, but then I found this one from this one day, another from this Sunday, another from this one day. I was like, oh, all right, that was that day's talking point. Let me see how many I could find from that one day. And I found more than what I had there. I probably have 15 in a row there, and I found, I don't know, 30 or 40 just from that one day. I was just so curious. And I was like, you know what? And I removed the other ones. I said, I'm just going to do this from one single day just so I can make this point.
Oh, I love it. In my chat, Mimi Two Boys says, Abby, will you please clip out all those random people, the segment that Brad did, and put it on X? I think Brad might post it on X. Yeah, that's an amazing clip. I want to show someone. That's what I'm saying. that clip will red pill people. Like, are you serious? This is the left. Death, kill,
Here,
murder,
I'll share it
hate.
to the top of my. I'll share it to the top of my timeline right now. There you go.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, go to Brad's X.
CGZ on X.
Yeah. Rock and roll.
Pretty nuts. Did you want to go through maybe just kind of the bullet points of Saturday? It's funny. This was the bulk. We're already an hour and 40 minutes in. This was one of the main things we were preparing for the show today, and they've done so much. Just a quick recap. If you're just getting here, this morning they raided 22 Minnesota welfare fraud places of business that had ghost children, the Phantom Clients. You guys remember with Nick Shirley digs and all the fraud that was coming out of there. Well, they served 22 search warrants today and went and just collected a whole bunch of stuff, dropped that on their head. We also went over how on last Thursday morning, they had pre-dawn raids. They arrested 43 Mexican Mafia gang members. Well, they served indictments for 43 of them. They arrested 25 on the outside. About close to 20 of them were also serving time in jail because the Mexican Mafia is mostly run out of the Southern California prison system. And they seized an insane amount of $3 million worth of drugs and crazy stuff. There's also an indictment was dropped today on former senior NIAID official who was a advisor to Fauci. He was indicted along with his co-conspirators in an effort to suppress alternative theories regarding the origins of COVID-19, which also hits a delta for Q-Post 4003, where they say, why is the media banning anyone who challenges the COVID-19 narrative? So that's pretty wild. And so it's been a absolutely wild day. And then obviously we have the different things that we were just going through.
And we had Comey.
With
Comey indictment.
Oh, and the Comey indictment. Right. And they dropped that on us right before we started the show.
Just for recap, because I didn't play it before, but this will help. Yeah. This is another great video.
This docket, Casey, as the prosecutors are putting different things in there. And there's an arrest warrant that is in the docket for James Comey. I was able to see it through the courts system, and it says that the marshals are being asked to both provide Comey with the indictment, and they are issuing an arrest warrant. We don't know what that means, but I will say, as far
we
as
know
the
what it
docket
means.
goes, it's a very different thing than how this played out in the Eastern District of Virginia when Comey was indicted there on the perjury count. A summons was issued instead, so that would be a direct missive to Comey to say it's time to appear in court to face this charge on said day. That's a bit of a different thing, but Casey, this is.
Where did that noise come from? I heard claps. Was that you?
Indictment. This is what James Comey is feeling right now.
I know. I'm thinking about all of them. See, because that's the thing is Comey is involved with. I saw some people in chat here. They're like, they feel like it's going to be possibly a week. Let's see, where did I see that? Oh, you guys are talking too much, but basically, like, this might be a weak case brought against Comey, and it might not have legs. But honestly, I think it does. And of course, they're not arresting him or anything to do with him working with Obama to overthrow our wonderful American government. However, we know that has been referenced and sent over to the FBI and the DOJ from Tulsi herself. So I think it's just kind of, we're all just kind of gathering or and then because we want to wake the people up, right? People, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see how the regular population responds to this, because I know I've said it from the rooftops, guys, since like 2017. Hillary Clinton's evil, James Comey, all of them. FBI covered for her emails. Remember this, the emails. Oh, James Comey said, there was only 100, whatever, 1,000 email, or I don't know, it was a small number, 20,000, but there was actually 150,000. What was he hiding? And then he goes, well, no prosecutor in their right mind would bring a case to this. So basically they let Hillary go off. Okay. Like these people are corrupt from a long time ago. And so if we are doing that dragnet scenario where the DOJ and the FBI, the good one, has been just gathering, the dragnet goes all the way to the bottom of the ocean, and it's a slow pull.
Bad.
It's a slow pull. But when you get it, you get everything. I'm talking everything.
Without
It's
a
super
doubt.
exciting.
And I see a lie says there's not much information on Comey, but Corney has a problem.
Yeah. Harvesting.
In the IG report where people were searching Comey, not much was coming up. It was like, interesting. There should be a lot about Comey in here. It's about him lying for the FISA warrant. And then they found that they made the M into an R and an N. So when you search Corney, a whole bunch came up.
I
So
did
that
not
was
know
on
that.
purpose, of course.
Wow. That's wild. All right. So let's jump in on to the overview here. Okay. So we've been through a lot. We have been through so much this past week. It's insane.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump into this. So the event overview of what happened on Saturday, April 25th, 2016. The annual White House Correspondents Association dinner was held in the underground ballroom of the Washington Hilton in Washington, D.C. President Donald Trump attended for the first time as a sitting president, accompanied by First Lady Melania Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and other senior administration officials. The event was disrupted by a shooting incident at around 8:40 p.m. This is where we could track it down to, as the dinner was underway. This was reported as the third major attempt on President Trump's life. There's been more.
Yeah, there have been more. Yeah.
I was
It's
gonna make
interesting
lists.
they keep saying that.
And I need to do it. I know they keep saying it, and there's a lot more. And those are just the ones that
There were at least 3
we've been
during
told.
the first term.
Mm.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's, yeah.
All right. So now moving on to the protests that were out there that I was showing you. A few dozen demonstrators gathered across the street from the Washington Hilton in the rain, protesting the dinner. Trump administration and the U.S. foreign policy, particularly involvement in the Middle East conflicts, was being held there. They held signs reading, "Death to tyrants, death to all of them. And yes, they deserve to die. And I hope they burn in hell." This is before
Nice crowd.
the assassination attempt. While chanting shame repeatedly, some waved Iranian and Palestinian flags and carried anti-war signs such as "No war for Israel" and "No war for Iran." One protester wore a mask of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's head and was reportedly dressed in a prison-style uniform with red gloves and handcuffs. Well, he also had... Okay. Protesters remained outside and continued chanting even after the shooting occurred. And that's the thing I want you guys to focus on, is that is the turning point in the mindsets of these woke liberal people, that when it actually happened, they kept on cheering. That is scary. That's a security threat to all of us Americans. Death to them all. I don't know. That's pretty scary. All right. So this is what we know about the shooter, Cole Thomas Allen. His background and his profile: the suspect is a 30-year-old Cole Thomas Allen, born approximately April 11th, 1985, towards
Roughly,
California,
April 11th. Yeah.
in a suburb of Los Angeles. He's a highly educated individual, is what they've mentioned. Caltech graduate. He has a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. Got that in 2017. He has a master's degree in computer science from California State University. Allen worked as a part-time teacher. I mean, this is scary. Including at CT Education, was self-employed and an indie video game developer. He created and released the game. Well, we got to look at this game, by the way. Boredom, but it's spelled weird. A skill-based asymmetrical fighting game on Steam. And he had prior experience as a mechanical engineer and scientist. He lived in the Los Angeles area with some reports noting family ties in New London, Connecticut. Allen has no prior public criminal record. See that again, this is important. And legally purchases firearms in California. He described himself on LinkedIn as a mechanical engineer and a computer scientist by degree. He was described as an independent game developer by experience and teacher by birth. And again,
Wow.
he had no prior, run-ins with the law. And that just really leans towards what we were talking about. How, look, I know he's not normal, but he's a normal lefty. And that's just it. He was educated. He was, academia. He was a teacher. He was helping figure out stuff for wheelchairs. And then he's going to go kill a president. Like,
yeah, exactly.
How, it's wild. Super wild.
Right. These aren't all, some of them are, and obviously that the kind of rhetoric that has been laid up their feet for the last 10 years it is meant to break the people who are fragile, right? But it has come to a point too where it's also just provoking people who aren't necessarily mental patients, and not that you have to be in your right mind, because you have to be a little bit out of your mind to ever try and do this.
Mm-hmm.
But they think they're heroes in their mind. That's the problem. It's been made heroic. People like what happened with Luigi Mangione. They're turning him into some kind of cult hero. That guy just freaking murdered someone he didn't know, simply because he worked for an insurance company. Dude, I hate insurance companies. Obviously, insurance companies are a problem, and it's a ripoff and a scam. It has to be done the right way. You have to go against it. You have to provide a better system, get into places of power that can change the system back to maybe a time when you thought it was better. But to just go and start murdering people, that is Marxist ideology. And that's why it's no surprise that a lot of these people are going down this road, because they have been indoctrinated in college by Marxist professors.
100%. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good point. They're basically just doing what they've been programmed to do. That's just what's happening. All right. So now we're going to go into the shooter's preparation and planning. I found this from the FBI, what I was able to gather. According to the FBI affidavit, and DOJ charging documents. Do you have that? Were you going to switch that clip?
No, I have this for the next 3.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay, got you. According to FBI affidavit and DOJ charging documents, Allen planned the attack weeks in advance. On April 6, 2026, he reserved a room at Washington Hilton for 3 nights. Yeah, sorry, I was hearing something.
The TV just turned on by itself this time.
What the heck?
What is going on with this? Our TV just randomly, a lot of times it turns on when I hit the, what was it called, the air conditioner?
Yeah.
But I didn't hit anything this time. That just started playing out of nowhere. We have a ghost, the TV ghost.
That is creepy. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, Brad's gonna take care of the ghost TV. I lost my spot. Okay, here we go. So he reserved a room in Washington Hilton for 3 nights, and he did this prior. He traveled cross country by train from Los Angeles to Chicago, then from Chicago to Washington, D.C., arriving at 1 p.m. on April 24th. He checked into the hotel as a registered guest later that day, and this allowed him access inside the venue where the dinner was being held. Allen was armed with a 12-gauge pump action shotgun. So glad he wasn't able to use that.
Oh, man,
he purchased that legally. A Rock Island Armory 1911 .38 caliber semi-automatic pistol. And he purchased that legally as well. And multiple knives. He carried these through the hotel as a guest before approaching the checkpoint. And that's why he wrote in that thing, the night prior, he goes, I walked in there with all my weapons and nobody even did anything. The arrogance of these people. It's like, no, you have arrogance, first of all. normal people aren't walking into hotels with guns. Okay. So the timeline.
Yeah, it's so sad. Yeah, typically they were like, well, dude, maybe we feel like we shouldn't have to worry about this, right? In a civilized society.
And that's the thing, that what you're saying about the Marxist communist ideas is that you just rise up and you kill the people that are oppressing you. That's like a third world country mindset. We're civilized here. We can have debate. We can have conversations. Heck, you can run for Congress. You know what I'm saying? So this man is saying this is the only thing that could be done. No, bullshit. That's totally wrong. And that's not something that somebody from a civilized society would say. So timeline of the shooting incident. At approximately 8:40 p.m. on April 25th, as the dinner began in the underground ballroom, Allen approached a Secret Service security checkpoint at the terrace level, one floor above the ballroom, near the metal detector's magnometer in the hotel lobby area. And you guys obviously seen this footage. He ran through the magnometer while holding the long gun, the shotgun. A loud gunshot was heard. Allen opened fire, striking a uniformed U.S. Secret Service officer once in the chest. The officer was wearing a ballistic vest, which stopped the round, thank God, and saved his life. Yeah. The officer is expected to make a full recovery, which is wonderful. The Secret Service officer returned fire, firing 5 times, according to some reports, but Allen was not struck by gunfire. Allen fell to the ground, and this is the part I find interesting. I don't even know what happened in between that time, but then he fell to the ground, was quickly tackled and subdued by law enforcement and Secret Service personnel. He was arrested on the spot. Guests inside the ballroom, journalists, politicians, and celebrities dove under tables for cover, and President Trump and top officials were rapidly evacuated by Secret Service agents unharmed. Trump later stated he initially thought the gunfire sounded like a tray dropping, and I can tell he wanted to even stay. You can see it, because he's like a daddy protector, like I get it. Secret Service, go on, sir. You're the president. We got to save you. But it just shows you his patriotic heart. He doesn't want to abandon any battlefield.
Yeah. Yeah. He wanted to go back and he wanted to go on.
Yeah. All right. So the shooter's condition and immediate post-arrest handling. Allen suffered minor injuries, specifically a knee injury. Okay. Because he fell down hard. He was transported to Howard University Hospital for treatment. He was read his Miranda rights, which he invoked, remaining silent. He was later released into federal law enforcement custody. He appeared in federal court on April 27th wearing blue jail-issued clothing with hands cuffed behind his back, and now he is held in federal detention. So that's good news.
Oh, yeah.
Now the manifesto...
going to be in jail for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And you know what? They're going to prop him up. They were propping the manifesto up, and the manifesto very much seems like a trigger document, which I find very interesting. And again, it's written, he writes it so elegantly, and it's almost like, I'm your college professor, or your Marxist college professor who is going to make it sound like a noble thing to murder somebody. Watch. They're going to prop him up. All these other cases, Comey and stuff, the media is going to be like, we're not allowed in. We can't show video. We can't show nothing. This guy, they'll find a way to get him talking on camera. There's something, this is an op, and they're all in on it. I'm telling you, I can feel it in my bones.
I do too. That's why I was like, when people were finding the manifesto and posting it, look, I get it, but we don't want to give that air. Well, I shouldn't tell you what to do. I'm just saying my personal thoughts is don't give it air, because what do we know? What do we know about the Mockingbird media news and talking points fed to them? What are we fighting? We're fighting the deep state. Do you think that it's possibly connected? I do. I do believe. And right, Brad, it's all written like nicely. I did the thing that anybody that knows that this guy's evil would do. Like, no.
And I saw someone write this somewhere. God, I wish I could remember where I saw it, but they were like, they pointed out that his initials are CTA, call to action.
Whoa.
And this feels like his manifesto feels like that. So there's
Call to
something
action.
interesting here. That this guy, this is trouble.
I think so. Okay, so to cover this, so shortly before 8:40 p.m., Allen sent a scheduled email with an attached file titled Apology and Explanation to family members and a former employer. See, yeah, this feels so, doesn't it? It read in part, I wish I could have said anything earlier, but doing so would have made none of this possible. My sincerest apologies for all the trouble I've caused. He signed it Cold Force, a friendly federal assassin, using an online I can't speak right now, alias Cold Force linked to his accounts. The manifesto expressed rage against President Donald Trump, describing him as a pedophile, rapist, and traitor. Now, isn't it interesting when Trump was on 60 Minutes, he called you a pedophile, rapist, and traitor. See, they're talking points. They're working in tandem with each other. Okay, so he called him that and outlined a plan to target Trump administration officials, prioritizing from highest to lowest ranking. It stated he would go through others if necessary to reach them, but specified Secret Service agents were targets only if necessary and to be incapacitated non-lethally if possible. So they're trying to make him like, oh, he's such a good man. He's only just going to kill the bad man, right? Police, hotel employees, and guests were explicitly not targets. And he mentions using buckshots to minimize casualties and apologize to friends and former students. Writings criticized Trump administration policies and referenced political violence as a response. And yeah, so that was something that I just noticed. It was just like, it was a talking point. It was put out there, and it's put out there to make you think, oh, he's just a regular guy, I guess. He couldn't take this dictator anymore. Well, I guess I'm like him too. Right?
Yeah,
Do you see how that could just make this snowball effect?
And I love Trump's point when he told her, if I was a king, I wouldn't be dealing with you. Right? If you're like a real old school king, like they're trying to say, or dictator, very much the kings were dictators back in the day for sure, there wouldn't be a single protest. That stuff would be squashed immediately. And you wouldn't even dare. I saw a thing the other day where there's these kindergarteners and the teachers marching them around, talking crap on Trump. They're all chanting crap on Trump. It's like, man, I think back when I was in kindergarten, we learned about the number people. Okay. I don't know if anyone in here remembers number people. They were blow up things, and that's how we learned the numbers. And then there were the letter people, and they're these blow up toys. That's how you learn the letters. That's what I did in kindergarten. These kids are being indoctrinated right now.
Yeah, it's absolutely terrible.
Warfare.
I love hearing that blow up. I've never heard of that. Sounds like fun.
I have to look it up one day.
Okay, so the federal charges, Allen was arraigned in U.S. District Court in Washington, D.C. on Monday, April 27th. And he faces 3 federal charges in a criminal complaint. Number 1, attempt to assassinate the President of the United States, punishable by up to life in prison. Okay. Number 2, transportation of a firearm and ammunition in interstate commerce with intent to commit a felony. This is up to 10 years. And the third charge, discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence is a mandatory minimum of 10 years and then up to life. He did not enter a plea. He was ordered detained pending and a pretrial detention hearing scheduled for April 30th. Prosecutors, including Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, U.S. Attorney for D.C. Jeanine Pirro, stated more charges are expected as the investigation continues. Possible additional counts, including assault on a federal officer, are on the table as well.
This guy's going to jail forever. Like, for what? What did this guy do? He just nerfed his entire life for what? A 35-second adrenaline rush to try and do something absolutely horrendous. Now he's going to spend the rest of his life in jail. He's lucky if he don't get the death penalty. I don't know if DC carries the death penalty. It doesn't sound like they're mentioning it here, so it's possible that it doesn't. Oh, however, they just brought back firing squads. I should look that up. It's actually probably DC probably does.
Wouldn't that be something? And this is the thing. You know, as far as why things keep happening is because there's no consequences. Okay. This is just life. This is how it is with kids. Kid does something bad. You're like, oh, you shouldn't do that. And they slap their sister and there's no consequence. Like you go to your room or you're in timeout or you're not going to play video games today. Well, guess what? They're going to do it again. And they're going to do it again. And they're going to do it again. The next time they'll do it even harder. And they might punch her in the face. Right. So there's been no discipline, judicial discipline. There's been no, and so I feel like we're coming to that point here under Trump's administration with Cash and the team. Okay, so the update on the FBI investigation is the case is being it's being investigated.
So yeah, well, just real quick, President Trump signed a memorandum in September 25, directing the U.S. Attorney for D.C. and the Attorney General seek the death penalty in appropriate cases under federal law and pursue federal jurisdiction for death penalty eligible crimes committed in D.C. whenever possible. This applies to federal crimes. D.C. itself has established capital punishment, but I think it's separated, right? Yeah, there you go. G-Funds, D.C. is under federal law. Yep. So there you go, man.
All right. So the case is being investigated by the FBI Washington Field Office right now, the U.S. Secret Service, and prosecuted by assistant U.S. attorneys. FBI Director Kash Patel stated that the Bureau has accessed Allen's phone lawfully, conducted dozens of interviews, including with family in California and in Connecticut. They raided addresses in California and transported evidence / devices for analysis at Quantico. The FBI obtained the manifesto email and reviewed firearm purchases records, and officials described it as a brazen, premeditated plot targeting Trump and the administration members. No evidence of accomplices has been publicly disclosed. All right. Do you want me to read the last two here?
Yeah.
So official statements put out by the FBI and DOJ, acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, and said Cole Allen now faces the full weight of federal justice. Deranged attacks on our elected officials will never go unpunished. And FBI Director Kash Patel said the evidence is abundantly clear. Cole Thomas Allen traveled to Washington, D.C., for the purpose of assassinating President Trump and targeting members of the Trump administration. Allen did not succeed, and now he will be held fully accountable. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro said Cole Allen traveled across the country with deadly weapons and a plan to assassinate the president. There is no room for this in this city for political violence. And Assistant Director Darren Cox, FBI Washington Field Office, emphasized violence is never acceptable for political dissent. So, I mean, obviously, but these are their statements. And then no one in the protected presidential group was injured. Again, like we said, the dinner was disrupted, later postponed, but hopefully, like what Dan Scavino put out, is that we will finish what we started. And I was really looking. Remember we told you, I was like, I think Trump was going to roast the shit out of these people.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I got there.
I think the impact, right? We're talking about like the broader impact. What does it mean? I think this is going to mean what we thought it was going to mean after Butler and even after Charlie Kirk, but it seems like this might be the straw that finally broke the camel's back. The rhetoric has to change in this country. The left have to be taken to task for the things they say. There are things like, again, in that montage, one of the, I'd say, absolute worst ones was that dude Hassan Piker's got 8 million followers. And he has called for death several times. Specifically, he just specifically called for the death of, I want to say, I forget who, but it's a specific politician. And that guy's opponent, Hassan Piker, was just campaigning for him. Like, how do you not denounce that? Then you have all these different liberal big name influencers who are just pushing violence all over the place. They need to be arrested. Back in the day, that was an arrest or at least a talk. I remember, I think I told this story many years ago. I'll tell it again. When we were kids, when AOL, AOL chat rooms just came out and AOL AIM and stuff, but I know AOL had different chat rooms, right? So I wasn't on too much. This is late 90s. My friend Chris, who was really more my brother's friend at the time, he's in some sort of chat room, and he says he's going to KILL President Clinton, right? He's totally joking around. No plans to do that. He's just a kid at the time, right? He's probably 15 or something like that. He's literally just being an idiot. The FBI showed up at his door and interviewed him, and his mom, in a nervous way, admitted that his dad used to make bombs for the Navy. And afterwards, it's a funny story in our neighborhood that, like, after they left, he was like, "What the frick did you tell him that for?" Like, the dad. It's such a unnecessary.
Don't connect this.
But they showed up at his house from a message he made in a chat room in the late 90s on freaking AOL. So they can track these people down. And that was a joke. These people aren't joking. They're not just being like, hey, check this out, and making stupid comments and things. They're like putting cameras on their face and having angry meltdowns. They mean it from the bottom of their soul. That's dangerous. Mm-hmm. Every one of them should at very least be talked to.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
And I was able to find, the what does it mean? It means that we are, you know how I feel. I think that justice is definitely coming. I think that a lot of us patriots have been patiently waiting for this. We have been doing what we can on our end as far as combating the fake news. But at the end of the day, we knew that these prosecutions had to happen. And, depending on how severe the crime is, and if it's considered what is it called? A national security threat. Huge. This is huge then. If there was a coup to overthrow our government, to our duly elected sitting president, to make false statements about him, to manipulate FBI memos, so they could make false, silly little councils to investigate Trump, like all this stuff, all of it is connected. So what this means to me is we're at the end of the show. I mean, obviously, the show will always go on. I get it. But as far as these deep state actors,
this stuff, yeah.
I think they're coming to the end of their story. I think they've done. I'm sorry you chose the darkness, but I'm not sorry. And justice is coming. And really, again, it is the children of light versus the children of darkness. At the end of the day, you choose: are you going to serve good, or are you going to serve evil? And these people decide to serve evil. And as far as the people being programmed to go and do assassination attempts, you're serving evil. And then it just means that the press is also continuing evil talk. So we are facing a huge spiritual battle. And so that's why everybody put on your, full armor of God, 100%. But it's a good time for justice, I believe.
Yeah, armor of God, indeed. If there was ever a time to put on the freaking armor of God, it is right now. These are crazy times. Things are heating up. Obviously, on both sides, they're starting, the rhetoric's getting a lot more serious. Donald Trump, funny, I remember during the first administration when a lot of us, when they were telling us on 8chan and 4chan, what they were really planning to do. You know, a lot of us, we voted for Trump. We were going to say, hey, man, I hope this guy's going to be a good president. And then we found out, like, oh, this is so much bigger. Because that first year was like, man, they are really giving it to this guy. What the heck? You know, it was just absolutely was the same thing I ever saw. And then you realize, like, oh, they're taking it down, and these people know we're taking it down. That's another thing, too, is, you know, when we were covering it on Saturday, there was a Delta for 187 talking about political assassinations in the Trump, in the Q posts. And yeah, I don't know how this has been presented out there. We kind of just showed it. We didn't really give too much commentary on what we thought it meant. I think the Black Hats were trying to hit that Delta. And I say this because I think they do try to hit posts as well. They definitely know the posts. If we know they're real, the people they're aimed at definitely know they're real. And I assure you, no one knows those posts better than the Black Hat intel agents. They have studied them. They are looking for clues in them at all times, 10 times as much as any of us, because it directly affects them way more than it affects us. No one knows the Bible better than Lucifer. Okay?
Yeah.
So I think they were trying to hit that. I really do. I think that was another layer. I think both sides are always trying to do as much as they can pertaining to that. One was a warning to them and also an explanation to us, to activists, and the other is always looking to do harm. So we are in the ultimate battle right now for humanity. This isn't just for our country. This is going to determine the entire fate of humanity right now. That's not an exaggeration. So,
yeah. And we got Patriots all around the world, by the way. I love it. Just every day I just see people, they're like, everybody that knows. And we're all on board, and we are all supporting Trump in this great reveal of corruption, manipulation, the darkness, the lies.
Yeah.
And then, of course, think of all the sad, there's been deaths due to this rhetoric that they've pushed, whether it's people dying at protests or, you know what I'm saying? Like this, there's death on their hands. There's blood on their hands. And yeah, I'm pretty excited for this justice coming down the pike.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And if you guys humor for a minute, I'm going to tell you about another Rumble ad here. And then after that, I'm going to play here a really cool clip from someone who's running for U.S. Senate. And then something funny from Homeland Security. And then maybe we'll leave you out with something cool that might even surprise Blue Eyes over here. Ooh. My lovely wife, Abby May. Let's see. Okay. Okay, Access Med, powered by Trinova Health, is a revolutionary telehealth service that offers fast, free online evaluations and home-free delivery of customized compounded medications, offering custom weight loss support, ivermectin therapy, hair restoration, cosmetic rejuvenation, custom ED treatments, and more. You can complete your visit in less than 10 minutes. And there's no subscriptions or recurring fees ever. We made getting started easier than ever. Simply follow the link, choose the product or treatment you're interested in, and then complete a quick online evaluation. Within days, your custom meds will arrive to your door. Mention Rumble in the coupon code and get 10% off your first treatment. Right on. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with us for these. I am going to play, I have to play this clip. Let me see. Actually, I got two things.
What is the clip?
I got two things I need to play here. Let me just re-pull them up.
I have Royce White as well.
Yes. Okay. That was one of them. So yeah. So if you could pull that up, that is actually what I wanted to play next. Because this guy gets it.
All right. So
I make some really much needed points right now.
I agree. And I first saw this, I think Flynn posted it, and I'm like, okay, let's check it out. Cause I just didn't know. Royce White, running for U.S. Senate. And I was impressed. His full speech, presentation is like 8 minutes long. So what I did is I took the spice and I combined it into this clip. Listen to this guy. These are the people that we need representing us.
Amen.
Okay.
I'm the person they call the far right, ultra MAGA, Christo nationalist, conspiracy theorist, Nazi, white supremacist. Thanks for having me. I'm that radical. I don't think there's any set of circumstances where President Trump should even consider giving this country back to communists, Satanists, or whoever else in between. Because they've told us they don't want to have a country. They don't believe in America. They don't believe in freedom. They don't believe in the truth. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in you. They believe in their own power. They believe in their own lies. They believe in their own reality. They are unmoored from reality. I'll tell you why black people continue to vote Democrat. Because like any smart kid on the playground, they recognize the bully and they recognize who's going to win. You've been bullied too long. There's nothing wrong with being white. There's nothing wrong with being Christian. There's nothing wrong with being American. There is something very wrong with being a coward.
Yes. God, that's what they need in Minnesota, that dude, man. Because Minnesota, maybe it'll start to get turned around now that there's been a spotlight put on it. Yeah, it's all those. I love to see where all those search warrants wind up and everything that they confiscated from these super real daycare centers.
Yep. And I love how, I've said this before, the only people that can speak so strongly against this fake white supremacy label they put on MAGA is the black
And this
MAGA.
can mean anything.
And I love.
Relevant to coming events, future.
Where did this come from? Oh, sorry. You can put it up.
No, I don't know why it does that. I think just automatically share stuff. Yeah.
Okay. I lost what I was saying. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah, but I don't like that. It's got to push back. I hope this doesn't get me in trouble after the show. But I got to push back where I know that it's felt that way, right? Where we're like, we want black people to stand up and say all this stuff against the white supremacy. But it's like, that's the trap that the left has laid, where nothing anyone white person says has any meaning, and you don't even listen to white people. Don't listen to, and I feel like I've also been guilty of this for a long time, but I'm trying to rethink it these last couple of years. Where no, I'm not capitulating to that. I'm going to start speaking up for it as well. I love that one clip you played me. Was that the English dude talking about it?
Oh, that is such a great clip.
Oh man, if you could find that, that'd be great. I feel like I don't have it too far, but it's like, no, we need to start speaking up for ourselves. I'm not a white supremacist, but I'm proud to be white. I'm extremely proud and honored of the heritage of the Caucasian race. I feel like we have done a million great things for civilization. And it does not mean I'm a white supremacist when I say that. Everyone's allowed to have pride for their own people. It's normal to have pride in your own people, pride in your heritage. I think the Irish heritage from my mom's side is very proud. This is a fighting people. These are ingenuitive people. Is brilliant people, many brilliant Irish over the years. I also feel like my Sicilian heritage from my father's side I'm super proud of that. Is also people who have fought. Also, some of the most brilliant people ever. Freaking Archimedes is from Syracuse. You have just from Italy in general. You have people like Leonardo da Vinci, is great minds. These are beautiful cultures, and I am very proud of that. And I'm sick of society setting these standards where you're not allowed to speak on these issues if you're white. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, and I do agree with what you're saying. But I'm just saying, it is cool when you have black people say, no, this is bullshit. They
Right.
have
Yeah.
made
No,
up
100%.
They
Yeah.
have the Democrats have wanted them to become the victims. You were slaves. Oh, so now you have to be victims.
yeah.
Now you always have to act like victims all the time. It's like there are real Black people that know that that's a psyop, and that's where it's the heart, right? It's the heart.
Yes.
But yes, I do agree. You have a great point. We shouldn't be like, well, I can't say it because I'm white. We'll have to wait for a Black person to say it. No, we should probably also just say it. We should also
right. We should just start saying it. I will say this real quick. Oh, yes, you found it. I love it. Rush-Shock Lives said, I only worry that the deep state has planted some people as Pied Pipers. They talk tough publicly, but they're actually controlled. This is always going to be the case. So, listen, you're never going to know 100%. Honestly, I think the trying to guess game, it just destroys everything. There's so many people I see they get so caught up in. Is this guy a black hat or is this guy a white hat? Listen, you'll just know by their actions. So what are you going to do? If they're this is the way I go about it. If someone's saying something that I think is really cool, man, I'm going to give that guy a platform. I'm going to echo his message. I'm going to love it. And then if all of a sudden, because they're controlled, they get the message, okay, now you have to turn. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to throw that guy out with the garbage. 50 seconds after I see his new message where, oh, Donald Trump has betrayed us and conservatives and MAGA are no good anymore and blah, blah, blah. And you guys should all follow me down to the wood chipper. No, I'm just gonna turn on that guy immediately. And then it's like, no harm, no foul. Okay, you were saying cool stuff? No, you're not. Goodbye. And they're done.
Right.
So it's like, otherwise, you're going to try and guess. You'll never guess 100% right. And then you're going to turn on people who are good, who you've convinced yourself are plans. And then you're going to fall in love with people who you're convinced are good, who are really plans. It's just all over the place. Listen, it's just if they do something cool, you go with it. If they turn, you throw them the frig out, man. We don't need you people.
Yeah, you're right, Brad. You could waste so much time trying to figure that out and be stressed. I just try to go based on the people's face value, what they are presenting, what I know, what they're putting out to the public. If they're saying good stuff, I will support you. I will look. This happened with the fake MAGA. You know, they jumped in right when Biden got in. They jumped in. I know we all know who they are. The big accounts, even maybe smaller accounts, it doesn't matter. Just ones that we knew. Yep. And then Trump isn't that bad actually, and we're gonna just join this MAGA group and. Okay. And then Trump gets in and is just being the best president I've ever witnessed, probably of all the presidents, right? Think about this.
It's 10 times better than the first administration.
Yeah.
And they're not happy. And all of a sudden they're critical of everything he does and nothing matters. And anything he does, well, whatever, nothing's going to happen. And then all of a sudden they're turning on him.
Yep.
Like,
and so that
interesting.
What else is that other than well, we'll just leave it up to you, the audience.
But teachers on. Listen, we could be wrong too, but it's sad. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, and true MAGA is about making America great again. And we're not violent, we're not mean, we don't go find people to pick on. We'll call out some wrongdoings, obviously, but we try to be professional about it. What I mean? So but now to circle back to put a cap on that with the race thing, this was just a great and Elon posted this too, and he says he's 100% right. So Mario Knopfel says, if you criticize a Jew, I'm anti-Semitic. If I criticize a Muslim, I'm Islamophobic. And what are you if you criticize me? What are you if you try to replace me? So I think he's just saying general white population. Yeah. And let's hear.
That's what it seems like. It seems like racist equals white, because no black man can be racist to me. If I criticize a Jew, I'm an anti-Semite. If I criticize an Islamic, I'm an Islamophobe. What are you if you criticize me? What are you if you try and replace me? What are you if you try and tell me I'm wrong for wanting to protect my children? Apparently, you're a perfectly reasonable person, but I'm a racist for wanting to protect my future. No, bullshit. I don't accept the 14 words as a thing. I think it's ridiculous that anyone could even say that they own this concept, as every human thinks this thing.
Yeah.
Black people go on and on and on about black. Asians, Indians will tell you that India is the best at this. This is Indian, that's Indian, everything's brilliant that is Indian. Good for you. You love your people. I'm glad for you. I love mine. But don't call me on a racist just because you don't like the word white. If you don't like the word white, maybe you shouldn't live in a white country. Like, really, if you don't like white people, go away. White people live here. I'm really sick of it. I'll be honest, I'm really sick of it. I'm sick of us being exceptionalized. This is happening every Western country. What we used to call Christendom is under attack by its own people, by its own elite. And we're supposed to just sit here and be arrested for having an opinion. No, I'm not a racist because I'm white. I'm a racist because I'm a human. Every fucking human is racist. It's normal to love your own people more than you love other people. It's normal. The creation of the word racist doesn't suddenly make me an evil person. It's a concept. It's not even a real thing. It's called in-group bias and out-group bias. It's genetics.
Okay. That's
frustrating,
so good.
to be honest, that these questions even exist.
But he's so right. And that's the thing. Yeah. They did pick the white people this go around. The go around beforehand, it was the black people. And then the go around before that, I don't know, there's racism against Chinese and racism. Like, it's not about racism. But the point he's saying is that the left, and I'll say it's a global thing, the global cabal did an operation. They did an operation that if you call out any of these things, you're racist. You're racist. And it just stonewalls any kind of critical thinking. And so, yeah, I love that, man. Just coming out, saying it how it is. And I guarantee he's not racist. And it is okay to love your country and your people and have pride in that. That's wonderful. And I think that's what we should focus on. You know, we can all be Americans, and we all, here in America, but we have origins. Heck, I've got Irish and French, and I've got, and Brad, you were Italian, and Sicilian, and but we're Americans, right? So, it's a really good point.
1,000,000% And I figured we could end off with this. And this is also about having a better attitude about controversial things.
People are starting.
They're saying that they want to rename it, right? To the National Immigration and Customs Agency or whatever it is.
Yeah, nice.
That would be so incredible. I love it.
Real quick to cap that off, guys. That's the thing, is patriots have no skin color. That's what it's all about. It's about the mind. It's about the ideology, how you've been programmed. Are you in control of your mind? Think for yourselves. And I just want to show you here the Great Awakening. Attempts to divide will fail. Patriots have no skin color, so don't fall for that. And then, like what we were talking about, MAGA. We hate you because you're MAGA. No. This is a divisive thing. We need critical thinking. What is MAGA? What does it represent? And I like how Trump picked that as a name. I know they did that on specifically, because how could you do it? He goes, Joe Biden goes against MAGA. It's make America great again. How could you be against making America great again unless you are against making America great again? You know what I mean? So it was great. Great name.
So genius. Well, without a doubt, a total genius move by a genius man. So it's kind of weird they go against it. It just shows that their interests are against America. Well,
yes,
we had a feeling this was going to go longer than usual, and it is for all the best reasons. Obviously, it has been an incredible week this week. Again, just to recap, they raided all the daycares with search warrants in Minnesota, took care of that. Earlier this week, they did a massive raid of the leadership of the Orange County Mexican Mafia. They indicted a Fauci advisor, ex-government official, who was subverting anyone who was trying to talk about the real origins of COVID. And they indicted James Comey on 2 charges that hold up to 20 years in jail. It has been a freaking great week. Also, foiled attempt by a hateful piece of garbage to try and hurt the whole presidential cabinet he was targeting, and Secret Service took him down, which is also a beautiful thing. That's a massive win, and hopefully a good silver lining is they'll start bringing attention to this, and maybe we could all start finding our way back to normal discussions.
Amen. God is good. God, I believe, was totally involved in Trump and the whole group there not being injured. And yeah, so we'll keep you guys updated. I mean, I'm telling you, please follow us, subscribe. MAGAverse of the world. We always covering this business. We just want to amplify what Trump is doing, because the fake news ain't gonna do it, right?
Yeah.
So if you guys enjoy the show, please give us thumbs up. You can leave a comment. I'd love if you guys left comments. If there's anybody out here, say where you're from. Where are you from? Are you in America, United States? You cross the pond somewhere? Let us know. It'd be great to see where all you fellow patriots are hailing from. And super.
Yeah, and let us know in the permanent comments too. Especially, well, I guess they do stay on YouTube, but it's always easier for us to read. Yeah, I love that. I love to see where we go when we go all worldwide.
Yep, 100%. It is. And guys, so exciting for this. The Great Awakening is upon us, and you're gonna have a scheduled show. Yeah, it's every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We go live here, so please hit the bell. Go follow Brad too on his channel, guys. In my chat, I'll put it in the link, or I'll put the link down here for you guys.
Just cross-pollinate.
Cross-pollinate.
Brad CGZ everywhere. And yeah, you can find that. And we're gonna leave you out with something interesting. It's something fun just to close out the show here. I'll tell you about it in uno momento. And first, I'm gonna tell you about 1775 coffee, which I guess I can't tell you guys about it for another minute. so with just a minute. So I'll tell you about what we're gonna close out with. And that is here on Rumble. Rumble has been really promoting live streaming. And for me, as someone who does one show a week, it doesn't meet the minimum. So what a lot of people have been doing, especially for the premium streams, because obviously we're doing this because we're passionate about it. So you really don't want to put a stream like this behind a paywall. We want to get as much information out as possible so we could all continue to red pill and be informed in the world. So what a lot of people have been doing is they've been doing video game streams. And for me, that's like so far out of my comfort zone. I can't explain. But it's a way to have hours. And believe it or not, I've had some viewers doing it. Rumble, I guess, has a bit of a gaming community. So that's been cool. So anyway, it took me out of my comfort zone. And the other day, we were doing a lot of Fortnite streams. And the other night, I finally was able to rig my Nintendo Switch to go for that. And I did. I was like, let me just do Super Mario Brothers. So it took me about 6 hours over the course of 2 streams. But I did beat the first Super Mario Brothers. And I haven't done that since I was a kid. I actually I feel like I was getting in a pretty decent rhythm afterwards. So maybe for future streams, I'll continue to do that. So anyway, long story short, I said to myself, I was like, well, that would be fun if I just took, me completing each board, the completion round, the one where I finally got it, and just make a full compilation, right? Of one of me completing each board. So I do that. It doesn't take me too long. It's about 45 minutes long, and it's just me one time through every board in Super Mario Bros. 1, which that was pretty cool. So now I'm rendering it, right? I figure I'll play it next month at some point, and just for not a lot of people, no one's coming to my channel for stuff like this, right? But it's just fun to post. So as it's rendering, my GPU is rendering it at like 4 or 5 times speed, and it looks really cool. It's going so fast. And I realize, oh my God, I've been staring at the render preview box as it's rendering for like 2 minutes now. I'm like mesmerized by this thing. I'm like, man, maybe I should record this. So I stopped the render. I get out my screen record. I restarted and I screen recorded the whole thing at my natural GPU speed, which is again 4 or 5 times the speed or something. And then I took it, and then there was music that I had made with Tuno for the stream. And I was like, oh my gosh, this would go freaking perfect with it, because it's just like fast chip tune, Mega Man style, video game metal. And so I did it, and I feel like it came out pretty cool. So I did wind up posting it again, super out of my comfort zone, but it was unexpected piece of art, I guess. And that's what I'll take you out with. It's probably more fun than you realize.
John 5B says, dude, the first Mario is hard. Dang, that's rad. Dude, it is.
Freaking
I
hard,
concur.
Man.
Yeah.
It is.
Brad was like, he was determined. This is how determined he was. He's like, I'm going to beat this. I'm going to beat this. I think I was in here like editing videos for like hours.
Yeah.
I go in there. He's still just like, and then at one point, I was like, let me try, thinking I can just totally stop Brad or whatever. I keep dying like the first. You fall in the lava, or the stupid turtle thing got me. Yes, that was very, very impressive. And real quick, Crystal Lovers, David says, please put this podcast on pilled.net. Stickers are awesome. God bless y'all. Are you streaming with Pilled? We tried.
No, I don't think I was able to. It shut off mid time last time. So I got to see what I can do. It's like an extra. Well, we basically just lost all our income, so it's an extra $500 to be able to do more streams on StreamYard. So, gonna have to find another way right now.
Yeah,
but definitely, I think I should be able to do it through the Rumble Studio. That's what I tried last time. I shut off halfway through. I'll try it again next week, but I will post these on my Pilled. Maybe I'll even just live stream them by themselves, because it'll keep it in the StreamYard and I can just run it through again. But yeah, I am Brad CGZ on Pilled, and I do love Pilled. One of the first accounts ever on Pilled. Shout out to the Mats if you're watching this when I'm reposting this later on. You guys are awesome, and you've done really cool things over there. Pilled really came through when we all got banned. Mm-hmm. And Rumble too, but Pilled is a great platform. And speaking of which, I'm gonna read you guys this last ad, and then we're gonna get out, and I'm gonna force you guys to watch some Super Mario Bros. But it's really fun. I gotta tell you, at least watch like the first minute. It looks so cool at that speed. Again, that was very unintended, but a happy little accident, as one Bob Ross would say. And if you still haven't tried 1775 coffee, now is your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped. There's only 1,000 units. You're going to get the bold dark roast that hits hard, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus, no crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin free, and mold free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip, because freedom isn't scooped with plastic, a frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's opinions, and a black 1775 tumbler, $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. This is one for those who have been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something. That's just like Rumble does.
Woo.
Amen.
Amen. Before we head out, there's a great comment here by John 5B. It says, MAGA is for everyone, and we don't have a SPLC pushing race hate. All people are MAGA. Took me 40 years to wake up, but I'm here. Thank you. Let's go. Thank you, God. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Amen. Amen.
Amen
love it. MAGA is for everyone. And, share, spread the word. Spread the word for MAGA versus world. Let's go.
MAGA versus the world. Dude, tell your friends. We're going to be here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. And now we're going to take you out with a little fun. You guys take care. And we'll see you next week. Peace. Thank you, Mario. Kingdom is saved. That's probably a more difficult question. I just beat this one, right?